ugly, ugly second half for the Gamecocks as they fall 74-47 to Alabama in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, I don't even know when that happened. It was close at the half. I believe they were down by 3 at the half, um, and then all of a sudden, things got out of control very, very quickly. And the final score. So, when you were describing this game, would you say the final score indicates what the game was? Does the final score not indicate what it was? What's the spin that we're gonna have on this one?
South Carolina was actually up at the half. They
There
were
you
up
go.
a point.
There you
And the
go.
reason I say that is because it felt a lot like Saturday's game in which I felt like Mississippi State had been in control the entire time, and yet South Carolina led. And in this one, I felt like Alabama really had actually been in control of the game. They just hadn't made shots.
Mm-hmm.
I Alabama, it was Mark Sears very early on that kind of kept Alabama in the ball game, kind of similar to Miles Studi and what Studi did on Saturday to keep South Carolina in the game, where I didn't think South Carolina should have been in the game on Saturday against Mississippi State. And it was kind of similar. Alabama had not really, I thought South Carolina had outplayed Alabama in the first half, and yet Gamecocks were not there. They had not pulled away. And I think that's right. Maybe you are right. Maybe Alabama was up. I now forget the halftime score. I'll pull it back up here in a second. But the bottom line is I felt like South Carolina was the team that should have had a bigger lead, much like I thought Mississippi State should have had the lead and a bigger lead. And then in the second half starts, the team that I felt like had been playing better dominated. I don't know if it's reflective in a 6-point victory on Saturday or a 26-point victory, 27-point victory last night.
Yeah, we'll see. I have an observation we'll get to when we talk about the next segment when we really get in breaking the game. But I do have an observation that would start the game off. I have a couple of things as a novice basketball watcher that I have questions. I have some things to talk
I had it backwards. Alabama was up
about.
30 20. I knew it was a 1 point game. For some reason, I was thinking South Carolina was in the lead. But yeah, that was the thing because these two teams, neither were good offensively in the first half. It was a contest. It was funny. I had the two TVs going last night, and you had Kentucky and Missouri. It was 47-42 at the half, and those two teams were playing a lot of fun up and down offense. And then you had Alabama and South Carolina on the other TV, and that was not fun up and down offense. That was just teams barely making shots and getting through. But second half gets going. The only there are some concerning things, but the only real concerning thing, Preston, I don't know because you've played college athletics and you can read it and you can see it better than I can, is it felt like South Carolina got in their feelings in the second half and didn't put forth the effort that Lamont Paris's teams have typically put forth, even in bad situations.
Well, that's the first time we've seen this out of this team this year. One of the things about becoming a not a great team, but just a good team is learning how to play when the chips are down or when you don't have your fastball per se, or how to lose with dignity, how to lose with effort. And this is the first time we've seen this, and it's characteristic of the things that we saw a little bit last year when the team would get in spots and the games we get away from them very, very quickly. This is the first time we've seen this year, so we can't make a character judgment on the team or anything like that, but that is something to keep your eye on moving forward.
Offensively, South Carolina was 11 of 28 in the first half. 11 of 28. They are down by a point, 30-29. They're 3 of 13 from three-point range. Second half, 6 of 27 from the field, 2 of 12. Took a while to get those first points. South Carolina for the game, just 5 of 25, which is funny because I mentioned yesterday, 25 was the number of three-pointers they shoot dead on. That was the average number. I mentioned yesterday, Alabama shoots an average of 33s. They shot 34 yesterday. I don't know. Did you notice? I kept pointing this out to my son Austin. Look, it's either a 3 or it's the rim.
Yeah, I don't like it.
There is no middle. That is Nate Oates' philosophy. And Nate Oates last night, did you see the comments made after post game?
No, I didn't.
We'll get those.
Okay.
Nate Oates seemed to, for reasons unknown, Can you have a bone to pick with someone when you've won 8 straight heading toward 9?
Absolutely.
Can you?
Sure.
All right, Nado's had a bone to
There
pick.
you go. Yeah, of course you can.
Nado's had a bone to pick. I'll let you listen to that audio later on and just get your take on that. It was an interesting night, interesting day yesterday. There is a report out by at least thebigspur.com on South Carolina hiring a new assistant coach, not necessarily specific to running back coach, just that South Carolina is going to hire a new assistant coach. It's a guy that I feel like will come straight off of the Will Muschamp tree. Just some SEC experience all the way around. I'll give you the name. It's a good name. It's a good name, but I'll give you the name and let you find out about that. I do want to get into a little bit of some other stuff going on. The Tennessee Titans fired their head coach yesterday.
Surprise.
We'll let you talk a little bit about that. And also a little funny story. I don't know how to relate this in just yet, but a really non-name Major League Baseball player got traded while he was on his honeymoon. Got out of the pool, have been playing pool volleyball, where he even said he was the MVP.
Of course. I would hope so.
Checks his phone and has a lot of missed calls and text messages and learns he's been traded from Tampa to Seattle.
Where's he from? That's a good
point. I didn't look to see where he was from.
There's some ways that we can figure this one out.
We'll get into that. There's a whole bunch to do this morning as we roll along. A lot to talk about, but first, let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Gamecock Larry is ready to weigh in. Gamecock Larry, how you feeling this morning?
Well, I feel okay. I lost a whole day yesterday to my blood pressure, but it's getting up there. But well, let me see. What was it? Oh yeah, old Root Hall called me early this morning. Want to know if Bill has heard anything about who was going to maybe be the head coach of Gilbert America. And the second thing I wanted to say, I heard is it true that Cam Pringle got in the transfer portal, and number 3, old Gamecock Larry signed his letter, NIL deal Monday morning. Walked into the office down there, and these 2 gentlemen sitting there in mechanic uniforms on, and some big old lawyer dressed in his suit and tie, and they looked at me and said, "Where's your agent?" I said, "Oh, Gamecock Larry don't need no agent. I'll tell you what I want. If you don't want to give it to me, I'll just get in the portal." And we sit there, we talked. So I told them what I wanted. They agreed. They signed the paper. My deal is if you want tender love and care for your automobile, take it down to Clark's Car Care Assembly. I done got mixed up. I don't. But I'm
leave that one to the
okay.
professionals. Leave that one to the professionals. Leave that to the professionals.
Oh, okay. Okay, another thing. Well, Bill, you done this. Oh yeah, I asked you about Root Hall. What we never heard anything about Gilbert America. But I don't know. I'm all mixed up. I got to get my blood pressure doing good, and then maybe I can call you tomorrow and talk a little bit better. But I love all y'all. Have a good day. Go Gamecock.
Yeah, get your stuff better, buddy. That sounds rough day. And yesterday was a rough day. Certainly hope everybody is okay. Saw there was a tornado, I believe, in Bamberg.
Yep.
Kind of an interesting day weather-wise across the state. So hope everybody's doing a little bit better there. So we will we'll keep our eyes. Weather should be better today, Jen. I believe it's cold today, but hopefully the kind of the nasty stuff has moved out. So we'll get into more of the basketball situation. A little bit of NFL. Mike Vrabel out. I would think he would be in demand. He probably shouldn't have a hard time finding a new job. I was going to let Preston get into that this morning. And one of Preston's least favorite kids shows. Oh, no, not least favorite.
We're here. We will parse it out.
We will get to that as well as making its return, and Preston needs to be ready for that. 803-404-6100. How you can weigh in. I'll get to some of these Firehouse Subs text messages this morning. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Ever sit in this meeting? What would you say you do here? I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that?
Think to yourself, man, I'd rather be listening to the game.
You're listening to Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Well, just go to iTunes or Google Play and download our app on all of your devices, and you'll never be without the game again.
Up to 40% of the air in your HVAC system is wasted due to leaky ductwork. Cool Care Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Refrigeration will fix these leaks with AeroSeal duct sealing. Cool Care can save you up to 30% on your utility bills. Make your house more comfortable and your air healthier. Call Cool Care Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Refrigeration today at 803-772-7715 or visit CoolCareHVAC.com to get a free estimate.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
At Kroger, shopping with pickup and delivery is the same as shopping in store. Same low prices, deals, and on the same high-quality items. One small click for groceries, one big win for busy families everywhere. Start your cart today at Kroger.com. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Save on Kroger brand pasta.
Plan at O'Hara's Public House awaits. Be sure to go right next door to O'Hara's Bakery Cafe to get all of your fresh baked cakes and pies baked using Columbia's favorite Nonna's recipes. Whether it's O'Hara's Public House or O'Hara's Bakery Cafe, your people are here. Looking forward to your arrival. Looking to get the most out of your next visit to O'Hara's Public House and O'Hara's Bakery and Cafe? We've got great news.
O'Hara's Public House is the sweet deal of the week. Get a $50 gift certificate for just $25. Log on to 1075thegame.com. Beginning this Friday at 9 a.m. to get your $50 gift certificate to O'Hara's for just $25.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body's out for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Life
can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family. If something were to happen to me, I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. In 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected.
Ethos fast and easy online term life insurance up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? I'm Dr. Mark Bentley with Columbia Secret for Weight Loss. I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercise, no prepackaged or boxed meals, no surgery, and no hypnosis, call my office now at 803-824-4210.
Hi, this is Kyle. This weight loss program sure has been great to me. I've lost 93 pounds in just 4 months, 20 pounds away from my goal weight. It has surely changed my life.
Some patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. That's half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 803-824-4210. That's 803-824-4210. Or ColumbiaSecretForWeightLoss.com.
WISTV First Alert Traffic
is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
Well, things look like they're a little bit better this morning than they were yesterday. For sure, we'll take that. Right now, as far as winds are concerned, just wanted to let you know about out in the Northeast and it's I-28 eastbound just after Spear Creek Church Road. But outside of that, things are going well, and we again are appreciative of that. We're going to see some gusty winds today, a few clouds, but the rain is gone. And we're looking for a high today of about 52, cloudy tomorrow, and a high of 60. Friday, we could see some more storms and wind, and looking for a high of 65. But right now, it's cloudy, and like I said, it's kind of breezy. 43 on the early game.
Early game
with Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Up and at 'em, 6:18 on a Wednesday morning, halfway through the week here as we get you going. Just think, next Monday we'll be halfway through January. I'm trying to be positive, silver lining. Just think, we get this cold weather before you know it. It'll be spring. It'll be warm.
Don't wish it away, Bill.
No, I'll admit, I'm wishing this away. I'm ready. I'm ready to get to February about 16th. Now I love basketball season. But I will admit I'm ready to once there is a pitch thrown at Founders
37
Park.
37 days.
37 days. That's right. That's all I know. Once a pitch is thrown at Founders Park, I'm like, okay, let's turn the corner. Spring is here. And then the next step is when you get that daylight savings time, that first weekend. I think it's the first weekend, might be the second weekend in March.
Shout out to Steve Wadiak. But I'm not sure there's another good 37 in college sports history.
Best 37. Let's investigate real quick.
That feels like the number you just.
Best players to wear 37 in NFL history. Lester Hayes. You ever heard of Lester Hayes?
I have.
Okay. All right. I think I just saw Jimmy Johnson on here. Did Jimmy Johnson? I don't feel like that's the same Jimmy Johnson, because looking at Jimmy Johnson's body, he was not a cornerback.
he's
rather
squatty.
Yeah, it's not the same one. We got a Pat Fisher, Carnell Lake, Rodney Harrison. 37. And then that's about the end of the list.
There you go.
Okay, yeah, 37, not a box. So you're saying if you get assigned 37, you're either a fullback or you're in trouble.
What I'm saying is, if you line up, if you're a quarterback, you line up and you see somebody wearing 37, you check and you throw it at him.
Okay.
He's obviously been issued a number. He's not good.
Kudos to the anonymous texter who weighed in this morning and said Rodney Harrison. Good job.
Must be a pitcher.
But the only thing I can think of. Good job on that. Good job.
One of the dirtiest players in the game, making a pitch for the Hall of Fame. And we can probably talk about that a little bit later when Hall of Fame comes up. But it's really interesting as the Hall of Fame starts coming around, and it's actually players that you saw play for their whole careers, and they start talking about them Hall of Fame. You're like, really?
Yeah, we're there's actually an article I read last night on a baseball player that I'll get to a little bit. That they was questioning it. But let's go back to South Carolina.
Sorry, I had to derail.
Yeah,
I just heard that 37. I was like, oh, that's terrible.
And I will get to this coach who's being reported. James Coley is the name. He has been the co-offensive coordinator and tight ends coach this past year at Texas A&M. He's just been around.
Oh boy,
Florida State, Miami, Georgia. I think now I sort of associate any coach that coaches at Georgia just as a Muschamp guy. But I feel like when I see these resumes, LSU, he was a graduate assistant at LSU, 03-04. Then he was the tight ends recruiting coordinator at Florida State. Again, then he was he's been an offensive coordinator at a couple different places at Florida State, then went to Miami, then spent 2016 to 2019 at Georgia, and from 2020 to 2023, he's been at Texas A&M.
Oh, so they were together at Georgia.
No. They weren't together at Georgia because much last year was 2019.
No,
2020.
What about Shane Beamer?
Oh, yeah. Okay, Shane Beamer. That's the connection.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, that's the connection.
That's what it always is. As Lou Holtz would say, there's my buddy.
Okay. All right.
Hire my buddy.
He's like, because Lou Holtz couldn't quite remember all his buddies and walking through the hall.
No, the longest story is rest in peace, Phil Petty. In the team meeting, Phil had a tendency to try and throw to Brian Scott because Brian Scott was very good and he would catch the ball off him.
Right.
But it would often be during double teams, and when he was guarded, and Coach Holtz was trying to point out that other players were open. He said, "Look, there's other guys open, but nope, there's my buddy." And he would just talk about him throwing to Brian Scott all the time. And that's one of our classics. Shout out to you.
803-404-6100. We'll get back into a little bit more things Foley here in just a little while, but that at least be reported that he is set to be hired by Shane Beamer on staff. No definitive answers yet as to what position it could end up being, but it does appear that South Carolina and Shane Beamer will hire him. Last night, it was ugly. 74-47, especially ugly in the second half. First half, South Carolina's hanging around. South Carolina got off to a good start again. It was to me very similar to that Mississippi State game in that it was Mississippi State who ran out to, I think, 11-3 lead. South Carolina, I think, jumped out 10-3 last night. Alabama worked its way back and then had a 1-point lead at halftime. And Lamont Paris talked about what went wrong in the second half. Here's Lamont Paris after the game last night talking about that second half in which South Carolina couldn't get anything going offensively, scoring just 18 points.
I was scratching my head too. I mean, first of all, we scored 18 points in one half. We haven't done that all season. I don't know but recently what the lowest amount of points is. But it's gonna. You're up against it. Period. You keep it as a single digit lead if you're only going to score 18 points in the second half. Certainly with a team that's explosive like them, and they got to 44 in their second half. But, there's also some subbing going on late, and they're feeling loosey-goosey. And so 44 is not a ridiculous number under those circumstances, honestly. Okay, let's call it 37, 38, right? Under a normal situation. Well, you got to play. You're down one going into the half, and you got to play in that second half. And if you gave up 38 points the way that we did, we would have lost by 21 anyway. Yeah. Right? With a very reasonable 38. That would have held them to 68, right? Which most teams would say, oh, wow, we held them to 68. We couldn't get it going. We couldn't get it going offensively in a lot of ways. We couldn't make shots. We couldn't make plays. We got isolations, one-on-one. BJ got a couple. Colin got the ball down there. We didn't play. We just didn't play offensively well. We didn't play. And then that bled over into some of the stuff we were doing defensively. They got a couple runouts, which there weren't many of those in the first half, right? And they had some of those in the second half. And so it gets difficult when you start and concentrating on the wrong things that the wheels will start to wobble.
I lost track of the math. I felt like I was back in algebra, and my eyes glazed over. What was he saying there?
What he was saying was that he felt like the 44 points was a little bit that was an outlier, but they still scored 38 points. And what he was saying was, even if they scored 38, we still only scored 18 points.
Right.
And we were going to lose by 21 regardless of what happened. So he was like, I'll excuse those other 7 points that got them to 44 points in the second half. But even if they scored a normal amount of points, with us scoring 18, we still would have lost by 21. I'll tell you, whereas Frank might have been like driving rusty nails through you, Lamont has like a velvet hammer that he's not gentle when he talks after the games. I really appreciate it. He's very clear and concise when he's not happy. Not a lot of coaching come to a parents.
Look, last year was tough. There's no question about it. But I felt like last night the camera angle was from behind the bench.
Bill,
that had an issue with
do
this.
not get me started on this. You open up a door and I want to walk through it. What are we doing?
All right, hold on.
What are we doing, Bill?
We will get to more.
Alabama makes a lot of money. Why are we playing in this JV gym with these JV? And I have thoughts.
Preston has thoughts.
Opposite side of the court. What are we
will.
doing?
Ooh. You bring up a hot topic among South Carolina fans. We'll get into this a little bit. 803-404-6100. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne. We'll play more audio from my parents when we come back. Plus, Preston has thoughts. We got to let him get them off his chest. Early game.
107.5 The Game on demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries, our team is here to get you better.
Almost a game guy. 107.5 The Game.
Bill Gunner here for Jacob Crowder, the mortgage guru, First Palmetto Bank. Mortgage guru, a couple years ago, he helped me in my condo on the lake. I've been appreciative ever since. And right now is no better time than to contact Jacob Crowder and see what he can do for you and your family. With interest rates having stabilized, as well as the local housing market, First Palmetto Bank has some great options that you can take advantage of. And Jacob Crowder is ready to help you today. If the New Year's change and you are thinking about building a home, you know what? First Palmetto Bank has a no-nonsense construction loan that will fit your needs. So call the mortgage guru today, 803-719-1005. You can email me, letter J, Crowder, CROWDER at firstpalmetto.com. That phone number again, 803-719-1005. It's the mortgage guru. Crowder, First Palmetto Bank.
If you're looking for some serious fun, head over to ChumbaCasino.com. At Chumba Casino, you can play all your favorite social casino-style games for free anytime.
Nasal relief by washing saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril. This time of year, when everyone is sick, Navage helps by sucking out germs, bacteria, and viruses trapped in our noses that cause us to feel miserable. And come allergy season, it does medications that can take time to help if they're effective at all. Navage helps treat congestion symptoms in seconds flat without drugs.
At Walmart, Walgreens,
I'm checking on the sound. I'm kind of messing with it, but it's actually saying here that the connection is unstable. So maybe it has something to do with our connection this morning. I don't know why. It would make no sense, but maybe that's it. I don't know. Let's listen again. Let's see if again here.
Energy audits, indoor air quality inspections, HVAC and plumbing preventive maintenance plans. Check them out at coolcarehvac.com.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter.
I was like it's a little bit better.
Remember,
I hear that in and out.
Providing top-notch service throughout the Midlands for over 47 years. Building their and you can call them locally. Not a 1-800.
But this is different. It's right. That sound runs. I have a cord that
The Game on Demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better. 1075.
Connections. I said, I don't know. We'll see if it picks up here.
100.5. The Game in Florence.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic
is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what happens. We'll keep playing with it. As you can see, we're upgrading here.
Yeah, the nasty weather has moved out. I'll take that. And 52. It is going to be like 52. But those windy conditions start to settle a bit tomorrow. 60 for our high tomorrow. 60 with some storms and the windy conditions returning on Friday. But right now we're looking at windy conditions and it's 43 on here.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
.633 as we get you up and get you going on a Wednesday morning, coming off actually a historic. I don't know what makes it historic, like in terms of years. I don't know what makes it historic in terms of years, especially because I mentioned last Saturday was an incredible day of college basketball. That if we had come in to the studio on Monday morning, we'd be going, "Oh my gosh, what an incredible night of, or what an incredible Saturday of college football." Basketball, we don't do the same thing, but last night, number 1 and number 2 lost in college basketball. Last night, Purdue lost to Nebraska, 88-72. Houston, who I watched Saturday, looked really good. Houston lost his first game of the season at Iowa State, 57-50. According to ESPN stats and information, and this is why I say I don't know what the time frame for historic is. I feel like it's got to be more than a decade, but ESPN labeled this historic. It's the first time since February 6, 2016, that the top 2 teams in the AP men's college basketball poll lost to unranked opponents on the same day. Now, it is only the 8th time in poll history, but lost to unranked opponents on the same day.
Yeah.
I don't know if
that's
essentially 8 years ago is historic.
I mean, it feels like ancient history. It feels like a lot has happened since then. I'll give it a pass.
Okay.
I'll give it a pass.
All right. But a very good night of college basketball. Not so good for South Carolina. One of the problems in the second half was a lack of aggression that the Gamecocks played with Lamont Paris last night. That was the one thing we talked about. I was surprised that the way South Carolina played the game in the second half. But here's Lamont Paris last night after the game talking about the Gamecocks' lack of aggression.
They were. No, there were a couple plays. I told the guys, you're down. We were down. It was maybe right around 10 or something like that. And I looked down there, and it seemed like they stuck 2 extra guys in. It was 7 versus 5 when the shot went up on the glass. They were all out all over it, and we weren't. And, I don't understand that. I don't understand under any circumstance. That tells you that the mind is creeping in. And it could be a lot of different things. It could be maybe somebody's not getting the numbers that they are averaging. Maybe somebody's not playing as much as they would like to. Maybe it's the atmosphere and what this game means to somebody. And if we win this, we're going to be ranked. And if we do, maybe I don't know what it is. But it isn't just a garden variety bad offense that ran rampant through the entire team. Right. I have a hard time believing that.
My man was not happy last night, and you're right. This is his equivalent of going off on his team in a manner that Frank Martin would do. Because you said Frank Martin would go out and just I mean, he puts down.
Sledgehammer.
And this is
more of like a knife with 1,000 cuts, paper cut. You're just gonna bleed. Lamont just sneaks up behind you and you cut before you even know you're bleeding.
And I like the fact that again he does it in a classier fashion where it would be a 4-letter word parade with Frank.
I don't know. I don't know what gets said. Look, there's a lot of people that don't that you're Frank was a big, large human. I mean, a large human being, and his action. Now, I think it was Frank's. It was the stare. It became the bald part. Like there was a lot there. Lamont's a little bit more unassuming.
Smooth fella.
A little more.
He's a smooth
You
fella,
know,
smooth
the
operator.
quarter zip doesn't scream mafia boss quite like some of the suits Frank had. But that was a coach last night that was upset with his team. And I think what you're hearing more and more of, he was upset with where his team was mentally last night.
Yeah, and I mean at this level, as he's been coaching a long time, we've all been watching games a long time. Losing is part of the game. Everybody can accept loss, but you accept a loss with the proper amount of effort, the proper amount of diligence, want to for the game. And what you heard from Lamont just now was that he didn't see that from his team. I think his team's not capable of it, but I do appreciate the fact that when he saw it, he's basically speaking to what he saw.
And it sounds like he saw something within his team that he knows he has to get fixed ASAP. I don't hear many coaches go out and say, well, when we play like that, it's because some guy's not getting his points, some guy's not getting his minutes. This game, we're thinking ahead and thinking, oh, boy, we're one of the best teams in the country. And Nate Oates last night, I'll get that audio to Jen and we get that pulled. Nate Oates last night mentioned, I was doing a lot of talking coming into this game, and they were doing a lot of talking during the game. And obviously you could kind of see that because of the fact that Michi Johnson somehow down 20 got a technical yapping with the bench. And that's a no-no, Preston. Like, you don't get a flagrant 15-yard foul call when you're down 5 touchdowns.
You got to take your medicine.
And it just, I think that goes more to show that it was in their head. Like their head was way too much because that's not it's not the kind of play you want to be giving out.
Right, and also obviously we're not being psychoanalysts here, but watch the game. It felt like it was Michi and the rest of the crew, and maybe that was a little bit of frustration that you can't lash out at your team like you really want to. So you're thinking out on everybody else.
That is going to be my biggest concern for this team moving forward is athletic. The SEC is becoming more and more of a skilled basketball conference, but the SEC is an extremely athletic league. That is just the kind of players you bring into this league, and then you mold them to your system. That's kind of what we talked about with not having a mid-range game. This is you can either shoot the three and knock it down, or you take that athleticism and you go all the way to the basket. And you apply pressure to the basket, you apply pressure to the people there trying to defend the rim. That's what Alabama does. Last year, Brandon Martin. Why am I drawing a blank on the kid who's the number one? Brandon Miller. He was a skilled basketball player. He had 41 on South Carolina last year. And Mark Sears last year had 31. But he was a skilled basketball player. But a lot of those guys are athletes. And athletes can dribble and they can get to the rim. They might not be able to go up and have proper body control and everything else, not down a jumper, but they can get to the rim. And that's what you saw with Alabama last night.
And you called it, and I was watching what you were calling as I watched the game, but it seemed like you were taking a lot of those shots, and when those shots start falling, we seem to get sucked into the game that they want. We just can't.
Last night after the game, we heard from Lamont Paris. This is Nate Oates last night talking about South Carolina after the game and kind of saying, they were kind of chirpy. Here's what Nate Oates had to say.
Fair, man. If you want to talk, you better be able to back it up, or else we're gonna put this 30 spot on you, or whatever the final score ended up being. And if you were in fact doing all of that talking, and Alabama decided to run it up as hard as high as they can, it's all fair game to me.
Yeah, basketball is not a sport where you can just run the ball for 3 yards in the first down. You got a shot clock, you got to get it off. And towards the end of that game, there was some people looking for theirs. There was some bench guys. That poor kid who got a technical. I will admit, I normally don't listen to a lot of commentary from the commentators during the game. I'm kind of in my own world. But I was listening to Dave Neal last night, and I forget who the other guy had a real JP Raycom feel to it.
Yes,
and I was enjoying it because those guys, they were pretty funny.
There was one clip where they were saying, "Oh, South Carolina shooting the ball very well here. They're 5 of 16."
yeah.
5 of 50, 5 of 16. As soon as he said it, DJ Mack just shut his up. What?
803-404-6100. We'll continue to talk about that this morning. We'll get back into South Carolina. Again, reports out here there that the Gamecocks will hire, he's still current, Texas A&M assistant coach James Coley to the staff. We'll get into that a little bit this morning. And then we do need to get into some NFL news. Mike Vrabel being let go. We'll get to a phone call when we come back, and we'll also get into Preston's. Well, I don't know. I'm interested to hear where he stands. A kids show is starting another season, and I don't know if Preston's ready. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Yes, that phone in your pocket or purse will keep you in touch with your family and friends. It will take great selfies of you on amazing adventures or just this morning's breakfast. And it's pretty good in case of an emergency. But the single most important function of your phone is the game.
But both defenses have been this year. What's so funny?
The noise. You can listen anywhere. Just go to iTunes or Google Play and download the Game app now.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. After Atlanta ditched Arthur Smith yesterday, brought another surprise. Tennessee Titans terminated Mike Vrabel, arguably the most successful NFL head coach on Bill Belichick's coaching tree. Vrabel's teams always...
Oh, man. Okay, this might be my favorite moment of 2023. Taking place on November 9th, a Thursday morning at the 107.5 The Game Studios. A victory lap for us. Thank you to Jen Jensen for her outstanding work with the cell phone camera as we invaded the early game studios with the Corley Pool Solutions Checkered Flag Challenge Trophy, much to the dismay of one of the hosts who shall remain nameless, but that's his most photogenic angle. If you listen to the early game in the mornings, you know that he who shall remain nameless, Jen Jensen, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and the now retired Darlington Raceway president Kerry Tharp compete in this NASCAR contest where we pick one driver for each race. You get bonus points if you pick the winner. The better the finish, the more points you get. It started in February with Stenhouse, my pick, and it ran all the way through early November, and for the second year in a row, yours truly came away with the trophy. Joshua contributed with a Michael McDowell pick at Indy, which was a home run pick for sure. He laughed at me, by the way, when I took Stenhouse at Daytona for what it's worth. But this is a serious contest, and if I had to choose between winning a fantasy football title with my buddies and this contest, not even a question. So we'll go for 3 in a row in 2024, and I already have Stenhouse set for Daytona, so perhaps he can win his second consecutive Super Bowl of stock car racing. So looking forward to an exciting 2024. And there's Kerry Tharp, again, retiring as Darlington Raceway president in his last race back on Labor Day weekend, the Cookout Southern 500, and there he is getting a selfie with the race winner Kyle Larson, who was also one of my picks during the year. So it's a fun year in 2023 competing for the trophy, and again, we'll go for 3 in a row next year.
Prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrysvo is not for everyone and may not protect all who receive the vaccine. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrysvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle cramping. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, the Bristol respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrisbo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
At Kroger, shopping with pickup and delivery is the same as shopping in-store. Same low prices, deals, and rewards on the same high-quality items. It's one small click for groceries, one big win for busy families everywhere. Start your cart today at Kroger.com. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply.
Save on Kroger brand pasta, Rotel diced tomatoes, Chef Boyardee pasta, and more. Mix and match 10 for $10 with your car. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
The early games with Bill Gunter
Florida Gamecock Preston Thorne.
and Jen Jensen, your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florida.
Reminder as always, go to your app store on your smart device and search for the 107.5 The Game app and take us anywhere. Again, you can go to your app store, your smartphone, your smart tablet. And if you're not in Florence or Myrtle Beach or you're outside of Columbia, not in the listening area, wherever you may go. Chris in Las Vegas was listening yesterday via the app and weighed in with a text message. You can always download the app because anywhere you go, anywhere in the world, you'll be able to listen right there on your 107.5 The Game app. So never forget to do that. 803-404-6100. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Dakar wants to weigh in about the game last night. Dakar, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
How y'all doing this morning?
Very
Just a quick comment. Actually, the game first half, I mean, they gave us so many opportunities to take advantage. We should have been up 2 points first half, and they couldn't get a shot then. And then after that, I mean, it just went downhill from there. But they had the opportunity the first half to pick it up a good deal. And heck, we could make a shot.
Yeah, look, I mean, you're exactly right. South Carolina had opportunities, but as you kind of mentioned, Alabama had opportunities too. Alabama had just as many opportunities. Alabama in the first half last night wasn't exactly great either. They were 11 of 25 in the first half, 6 of 16. They were 44%. Second half, almost 52%, 51.72%, and they were 50% from three-point range in the second half. They had opportunities just as much as South Carolina did in the first half to maybe open up that game and didn't do it. Both teams were not very good offensively in the first half.
How many points did the guy end up with? The left-hand receiver?
Sears finished with 31. He was efficient. Like we talked about Caitlin Clark, who will score in the 30s, but she'll take 30 shots. Mark Sears last night was 10 of 13 from the field, 6 of 8 from three-point range. He hit all 5 of the free throws he tried. 10 of 13 is efficient last night for 31 points.
Wow. Well, let me ask a quick question. What was the game thought Larry talking about Cam Pringle?
I assume he was. I don't know, and no. Like I assume they last night. Alabama had a player, Nick Pringle. That was the only thing I could assume.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I enjoy listening to your show every morning going to work, and I really enjoy it. And I just wanted to give you a call. Never called before, but I listen to you every morning. Y'all do a great job, and I appreciate it.
Oh, appreciate it. That's like a good old first time, long time.
Yeah, first time, long time.
Long time, first cat. Long time, first time. Let's stay on the Love City phone. Steve wants to weigh in this morning of the game last night. Steve, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
How y'all guys doing?
Doing good.
Good. I left the whole game. I think this is my opinion. I think Mitchell Johnson did too much. He need to go out of press and hard because he got beaten of anytime step. He need to come up with another game strategy to get somebody involved. He just, he was played out of control last night.
And then ask you another question. I know a guy from Alabama. I don't know if y'all remember the guy from name, but he's a repeat of Marcus Page from North Carolina. This time was and this from the left hand. And he played Smith basketball like Marcus Page. Now he might have seen Marcus Page last night, like I can say again. I think Gamecock basketball be okay. It's got two covers like together. Six little pieces here and there. I think they'll be okay.
Appreciate the phone call. To what he is saying about Michi was talkative last night.
Yeah.
And I feel like that might have been something that Lamont Paris was kind of getting at without calling out Michi by name, because Michi last night 6 of 18, 2 of 9 from 3-point range, finished the game with 16 points. But again, we talked about Mark Sears finishing with 31 and 10 of 13 shooting. Michi 6 of 18 shooting and only gets 16.
Yeah, that's not great. And to Steve's point, I do feel like the same thing is maybe it felt like Michi was trying to push or trying to force the game a little bit more than he has to. But what I always wonder is maybe he's looking around like, anybody else going to do anything? Because it did feel as if a lot of people were standing around watching the Michi Johnson show. Now, I don't know whether that was, it's like a chicken and egg scenario. Are we doing that because he's just dribbling the air out the ball? Or is he doing that because nobody else is making the play? I don't know the dynamics of the team, but I do agree with that assessment.
Some of it is, from what I have seen, Michi is the only one who can go and get his shot. Juwan Cooper has to be set up. BJ Mack has to be set up. Miles Studi has to be set up. Zach Davis pretty much has to be set up. Jacoby Wright has to be set up. I'm not trying to be mean when I say this, but I told somebody else this last night after the game. I've never seen a team, any level, that can't, especially down whatever they were down. Because I think Wright in the last 2 free throws there. I've never seen a team down nearly 30 with 10 seconds to go, and somebody doesn't just jack up a shot. Like, I'm going to get mine. And somehow South Carolina ended up with 0.6 of a second left and didn't technically get a shot off. Jacoby, I've never, you think about that press, that's kind of the old, I don't know what the equivalent is in football because you got to have people block for you. But normally when you're down 30 essentially and time is running out, you're like, I'm going to take a step back 3. I'm going to go in the lane and throw one up. Jacoby Wright got in there and all of a sudden started twirling around. That actually might have been Morris. It was one of the 2 players there at the very end. And the bottom line is they got into the lane at the very end. South Carolina didn't get a shot off down 30.
Well, you sound like Lamont. Lamont said he was looking at him like, hey, guys, it's down. You know that, right? He sounded like he was in the huddle trying to gauge their eyes, and maybe everybody wasn't with him last night. And again, like Steve said, maybe it's one off, possibly. We'll see how the thing goes, but we did learn something about how this team might respond to adversity throughout the year.
Yeah, we'll learn more. We'll continue to say it was Morris who just I'm still working on that one, but again, yeah, that very end, really took a shot. You're like, God, you're not going to hit a 30-point shot and win, but you still just launched one. All right. We'll talk more about it. We'll get into that, get into the NFL, get into a little South Carolina football, and we'll come back. There's a kids show we got to discuss real quick. If your kids are in the car, they'll have a good time. It's the early game.
Jen for CHW Cabinetry in Lexington. When we had to do all that demolition in our kitchen this past year, had to install new kitchens, or new cabinets, that is. I know what we had done. But CHW Cabinetry in Lexington were fantastic. Had everything organized for us and gave us a photorealistic rendering that made us understand what the kitchen was going to look like so we could get everything else put together. But did you know that they do more than kitchens? They have closets. If you have a closet to be more functional, they can handle that. Every time you look in the pantry, you don't even know what's in there. They can actually update the look of your pantry and make that more functional as well and have a lot more storage options for you. If you're looking to make some updates in your home, maybe create even a workspace, visit chwcabinetry.com to call them today at 803-520-6837. Be sure to tell them Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation.
1075 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Have with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The Powerball jackpot for Wednesday is $60 million. Be sure to stop by your local South Carolina Education Lottery retailer and get your ticket today. See SCEducationLottery.com for jackpot odds in a store near you.
At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we know how serious injuries change people's lives. I'm Jason Reynolds. When you're involved in a major car or truck accident, my team is on your side. You don't have to be alone.
Hey folks, Happy New Year. Welcome into the first edition of the Cocktail Hour here in 2024 alongside Bill Gunner. I'm Jay Phillips. You look like you survived.
Boy, I thought for a second you were going to say what I was already thinking. You look like you've packed on the Christmas 15.
No, I would never do that to you.
Which I have. And the truth is we have 3 cameras today, so that's 45 extra pounds that I look like I am. That is not true. I will start working out again. But it was an enjoyable Christmas for South Carolina athletics, basketball, and for me as well.
Well, that's good. The kids were good to you?
The kids were fantastic to me. The family was fantastic. We enjoyed the great food that comes along with Christmas. And now we're ready for a brand new year. 2024 is here.
A lot to get to. We'll talk some football portal stuff for you. The signing day has passed us for now. Men's and women's basketball off to incredible starts. Of course, Dawn Staley's team, #1 in the country, heading into conference play. And Lamont Paris's team has more wins already than they did all of last year without yet playing a conference game. Let's get into it right here on the Cocktail Hour.
Also, I-20 westbound at Pierce Creek Church Road will be exit 82. We have an accident there. Bush River Road near I-20, right there, kind of Outlet Point Boulevard. Also, Newport, the north fence. Big storms have left us, and that's the first thing. Windy and cool today, 52 will be our high. It'll be kind of cool tomorrow morning, 34 for that overnight low. 60 for the high tomorrow, and on Friday, could see some storms and wind again. 65 will be our high. And we come do that roller coaster, we're back down to 50, breezy and cool on Saturday. But it's a chillier start to your morning. We're looking at 43 on
WNJT FM, East Over Columbia.
Hey, this is Gamecock catcher Cole Messina. You're listening to the home of the Gamecocks at 107.5 The Game.
Cumulus Media Station.
The early game.
Bill Gunner.
Still working on that word that I was going for. Trying to remember what exact word I was going for.
More Gamecock, Preston Dorr.
People don't like people that are non-people people.
Jen Jensen.
Still working on that word that I was going for. Trying to remember what exact word I was going for.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
The theme of this show. I don't know what happened.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
There you go.
How many of your kids are dancing in the car right now heading to school, recognizing this lovable kids tune that I've never seen about some kind of dog?
It's Australian, Bill.
Australian.
Come on, man.
All right.
You got Chili, you got Bandit, you got Bingo, you have Blue. It's a family. And his father, Chili's the mother, Bingo's the little sister, and Blue is the star of the show. By far, talking about depth charts, by far #1 children's show on TV. Hands down.
Really?
Hands down. By far #1. this is where it gets into, you talk to people with children of different ages, and you can tell how old somebody's child is by what show they remember. So, Phil, what was the show that you remember watching?
This is where I was going with this, because I saw this pop up last night about Bluey coming up. We talked about it with your daughter, and it made me think about the show because at the time, at the young age, I was working for 24/7 Sports in the Big Spur, and so I could kind of be relative in the morning, a stay-at-home dad. I could have my kids, I could let them sleep, and then I would take them to a daycare at about 10:30, 11 o'clock. There was a press conference or something like that. So I did watch a lot of shows like this, and when I saw this last night, my instant feeling and a little bad memories of Peppa Pig.
Oh yeah, Peppa's still around. We don't do that one. It's the way that you can just kind of guide away from we're gonna watch this.
Well,
but Peppa Pig was a big deal.
We brought this up because it made me laugh. I was thinking, there's a lot of you out there who are listening, who you're either starting your journey into parenthood, you have young children, or you're like me, whose kids thankfully don't watch this anymore. They're in the Netflix, and now we're having to monitor the television a little bit more closely. But yeah, old Bluey here made me think, and the one that it also again brought back like just cringe-worthy mornings was Caillou. Jen, did you ever have a Caillou? Your kids were.
Yeah. What were the era of your shows for your children?
Yeah, mine were like Blue's Clues.
Blue's Clues, yes. Blue's Clues.
So some things like that.
Yep, Blue's Clues. We have watched the Blue's Clues movie, but not as much into the show. So that's what I'm saying. There's always a show that's probably really on board. So 803-404-6100. What show? My question is this: two questions. Which show did you either thumbs down, and which show did you secretly thumbs up?
Yeah, you got to.
Because there's always one that you're like, oh boy, I'm watching this again, and then you find yourself watching it more than your kids are actually watching.
Yeah.
It. That's what one of those. Which show did you thumbs down, and which show did you secretly?
Now, does this include like live action, not just animated?
It could be live.
Action.
It could be live action. Could be live action. Which shows with your children did you thumbs down, and secretly you may have thumbs up? You're like, you sure you don't want to watch Bluey?
I'm trying to think. There was one or two. Octonauts with my son. Okay. It probably helped with my son. The Octonauts was there. Richard says, "Man, I'm dying. My daughter is in the bathroom getting ready for school and heard that song playing on my phone. The look and smile on her face. She's 8. Yeah." Neil, hold on. Neil says, "Bandit is my father goal. Bluey's great. Never watched it and not laugh."
It's a really, really solid show. Also, Bandit. He is definitely father goals for sure. And you're like, man, this thing is awesome. How's he pulling all this trace off? It's really is to get on my old horse here. It's a really nice, wholesome show with the family. It's really good. If your kids are going to spend that much time in front of the screen with you all, like, oh, all right, let's do it. I wouldn't let you know it is all new episodes, folks. Coming back.
All new episodes. I saw this last night and instantly thought of Preston Thorne. I was like, we got to put this on the rundown. Wednesdays on Disney Plus, the show's 3rd season. So you will big sit down, popcorn.
We'll be locked in. I mean, we've watched the other episodes ad nauseum over and over again. So I'm actually excited that the new episodes because we start knowing the episodes word for word. Favorite episodes that you watch again and again and again. Yeah.
All right, send us. I got some of these 803-404-6100 as a parent. Send us your thumbs up and thumbs down. Both of them. Thumbs down. Kid shows that when your kids were little, you had to watch. A lot of y'all coming down. You're coming in with some of these anonymous texters. With Little Bill. I think I did actually hear about that one. Ray saying my son used to love to watch Little Bear. You gotta go a little bit deeper. What did you secretly love to watch? What were you going to watch? Or what were you like, man, I got to go elsewhere?
Because I'm trying to get her to watch this other show on Nickelodeon, Big City Greens. And it's another really interesting show. And she's just not feeling it. Every time like, oh, like, dreams, like, no, I can't get her to watch it.
Speaking of which, Alex says Bluey is a great show. The parents make you feel unimaginative. We've truly pulled ideas from the show to entertain the kids. Next with Phineas and Ferb. Big City Green took that spot on Disney.
Big City Green is good, man. I just can't get her to watch it.
This is the one I was thinking of. Thumbs up. This from anonymous texter. Bubble Guppies.
I remember I wasn't in the kid game at that time, but I do. It's interesting when you're young. You hear about this stuff, it just blows by you. You're like, whatever. And all of a sudden, you find yourself engulfed in kids program.
Anonymous texter, thumbs up. Bluey. Secret thumbs down. Elena of Avalon. Thank you. We're past this here. Another anonymous text. Jordan says, "We thumbs down Peppa Pig. Blue is number one. I find myself still watching even after the kids walk out. Relatable to parents."
Yeah, and there's a lot of jokes that the parents would get, and a lot of things you watch, and you're like, that's really, really good. I'd be interested to see anybody who's a thumbs down. That's
we hadn't gotten one yet.
It's almost universal too.
We hadn't gotten one yet. Let's see. I don't know if this is Daniel or I haven't heard this again. I'm out of this there. Daniel Tiger doesn't miss. Peppa Pig is the devil.
Yeah, this is fair.
Either they've taken Caillou off, at which a lot of you parents that have young kids, be thankful. Caillou was a whiny kid. And then they put out a Christmas special, and my kids one year, they were young enough they had to watch the Christmas special every morning, and I felt it would be frowned upon to start drinking early in the morning with your kids. So I would just have to get on the computer and try and do work. But yeah, those were tough things. Robert, who hasn't listened for an hour, Robert, get better, listen better. You're doing a poor job today. So we're going to talk sports today. We did it for an hour, Robert.
We'll be back.
We'll get back to sports. You got to do better, Robert. We asked him you to do better. Although said Burgermeister is in the transfer portal. So Robert does get the show. Just got to do better. Scott going with Rugrats. Joe with Gullah Gullah Island.
Gullah Gullah Island.
Oh, that was good.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember the theme song.
You're going to sing it out loud, or are you going to sing it to yourself?
I changed my mind to that just in case. But no, that was actually fun because it was informative, and learning a little about the Gullah culture and stuff like that. Hannah Montana was fun.
That was a solid show.
That was
on Disney.
Yeah, they had Billy Ray Cyrus, and then Miley, and yeah, it was good.
George weighs in. I think George is around closer to what I'm at. He went with good at the Wiggles, Bad, Max, and Ruby, or Caillou.
Can I just say, as far as the Wiggles, yes, I totally forgot about them. That was a big one. But I was at a conference where they were featured because it was for a children's charity, and they were a fun group. May have sung karaoke in a bar with the Wiggles. Just saying, it was fun.
There was some kind of one of my neighbors. I don't remember the exact relationship, but had a friendship. Maybe it was a neighbor's sister, something. I can't quite remember this, but that had a relationship with one of the families had a relationship with one of the Wiggles.
Well, one of them did marry somebody, I think, from South Carolina.
Yeah,
so that
it was in our neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was in our neighborhood. One of my neighbors. So.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of you have been there. I see the text messages coming in, and a lot of you have been there, and I can really relate to this text message from John. He says, "I used to watch quality programming like Jake and the Neverland Pirates. Now I'm stuck watching YouTube videos of other kids playing video games."
Oh, yeah.
I've been there.
That's a development I didn't see coming.
And an anonymous texter says, "Today's generation needs to watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood."
Mr. Rogers is always solid. Yeah, I would say that. I would venture to say if I put Mr. Rogers on, it would go over well.
Okay. All right. There you go. 803-404.
We'd have to vote for Captain Kangaroo back in the day. Captain Kangaroo, Mr. Green Jeans, a little more old school. Don't know if people would, relate to it these days.
Tim and Sumter says Caillou was annoying. As my daughter got older and discovered Nickelodeon, I was introduced to SpongeBob SquarePants. Now I probably watch it more than she does.
Yeah, you know what? I've never understood SpongeBob.
Couldn't
I've
quite get
tried.
it. It seems very quirky. There's a lot of things you have to understand.
Over your head there a little bit. Too sophisticated.
Like things have to be
Yeah,
happening.
that's not it. Mm-mm.
Things have to be happening for SpongeBob.
Yeah. I don't know.
So Bluey's back. Bluey's back. We'll keep sending them in. Thumbs up, thumbs down. David going thumbs up. Bear in the big blue house. Thumbs down, Barney.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, thumbs down Barney for sure. But Bear in the Big Blue House, that was a good one.
Adam going with Dora the. That was another one. Dora the Explorer. On our
Swiper. I do remember that because
Swiper, no swiping.
My niece was into that at that time. And I do remember that.
803-404-6100.
We'll bring the Bluey theme song back towards the 8 o'clock hour if you around let off time if the kids are in the car.
Yeah,
to give them a little pep.
Yeah. Trust me. From what I gather, it really fires up the kids. So we'll stick with that. 803-404-6100. We'll get back into a little bit of basketball talk. Also, again, we need to get into some discussion on the NFL. Not only Mike Vrabel, but also South Carolina players in the NFL playoffs coming up this weekend. Should be a really good weekend. Before we do that, let me make sure I tell you about Mid-State Roofing. That's right. Blake and Larry Leitner, the entire Leitner family. Well, they've been taking care of your commercial roofing needs for over 30 years. They're a proven leader in the roofing industry, and they are ready to help you. A call center, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 803-356-1919. If you've got an issue, let Mid-State Roofing take a peek. That's right. Leak detection as well as leak prevention are the keys there. But maybe some of you also need some gutter cleaning. Right now, a little gutter maintenance would be the worst thing for you. So go ahead and call Mid-State Roofing today, 803-356-1919. You can visit them online at midstateroofing.com. Again, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can give them a call and you'll speak with a technician. Doesn't matter what time or when, you'll have a technician on call to talk with you. Again, give them a phone call, 803-356-1919, or visit them online, Mid-State Roofing. If you got a leak at Mid-State Roofing, take a peek. Again, last night, South Carolina falling 74-47 to Alabama. We'll talk more about that. But I also probably should remind to tell you, a lot of you weighing in. I can sense parents right now ready to discuss this. Just get some feelings off of their chest. My buddy Stephen Hartwig weighing in this one. He says he's got a car full of boys on his daily drive to carpool, and they are loving the conversation about kid shows.
See,
they're weighing in as
bring
well.
in the whole audience. You got to bring in everybody.
If you lose by 27, you don't do 3 hours. What happened? You talk a little bit about kid shows as well. So 803-404-6100. Marshall raising 3 kids between 19 and 3. Bluey is on the Mount Rushmore. And so Blippy, a whole lot of emoji thumb down.
I
And
agree.
that gets breast
1,000%. Every time we try and get to Blippy, it's like, man, get him out. Matter of fact, Blippy and his sidekick, Mika, both of y'all can get out of here. Kick rocks.
803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game.
Got something to say?
Ring us up on the Love Chevy phone line. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer.
803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
It's Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. Have you started thinking about your weekend dinner plans or even just dinner plans for tonight? For the Gunner family, it always starts with Old Timey Meat Market. That's right, because you'll never find a better cut of meat at any place here in the Midlands, whether it's the South Congaree location, the Irma location, or the Lexington location. Old Timey Meat Market has the absolute best selections of beef, pork, poultry. I bought some oysters from there this past weekend, and we steamed them up. Ooh, real nice, Clark. They were real nice. Let me tell you, whether you're looking for a great price, whether you're looking for a great cut of meat, whether you're looking for a great start to your morning with a fantastic piece of thick cut bacon, Old Timey Meat Market has you taken care of. So again, go visit one of their 3 locations today. The store in South Congaree, St. Andrews Road in Irma, or the store in Lexington, where I can guarantee you'll run into me. Stop by Old Timey Meat Market today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet.
seconds. One, a three-quarter court shot is short, and Carolina wins it. You can put Spurs on a 79-77 win over Virginia Tech.
Obviously, you play to win, you play to compete. At the same time, you come in like realistically like, okay, this is a journey, like this is a marathon, not a sprint. And we know that, you know, once we got the ball rolling, like things would be like a snowball effect.
Coming back to South Carolina, I really started to fall in love with the game again, you know, and have fun with the game again, just being myself and being here at Columbia.
The Gamecocks get to 5-0.
You know, I don't think I can like have a full answer for that yet because this is just year 2, but I think we are building a culture for, you know, the people after us. We're always going to be counted out, you know, but we tend to not listen to like the outside noise and just work on what we have going on as an inner circle. And we work hard, we trust each other, and we play for each other.
Ambition sometimes takes like a toxic form. It can lead people to be, you know, become very self-interested, and I don't feel like we have that at all.
Needle in the haystack. See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Kroger, shopping with pickup and delivery is the same as shopping in store. Same low prices, deals, and rewards on the same high-quality items. It's one small click for groceries, one big win for busy families everywhere. Start your cart today at Kroger.com. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Save on Kroger brand pasta, Rotel diced tomatoes, Chef Boyardee pasta, and more. Mix and match for $10 with your car. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It's the Players Club countdown to Gamecock baseball. 37 days till opening day. Step into the future of golf at the Players Club, Columbia's first and only exclusive indoor golf and country club. Visit playersclubsc.com to learn more. The Players Club, where golf meets elegance.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
And on the highway, still a few things to be mindful of. We have a road in IP right there at Outwood Point in Garden accident. Also, Highway 2 at I-77. Some sort of road or something on the highway can be causing problems. I-20 westbound at Spears Creek Church Road, looking at getting that earlier today cleaned up, as well as I-26 westbound. Just after exit 1. South Kilburn Road at Brennan Street. We also have a report of an accident. Storms are out of here, but it's still going to be windy today, a little bit cool. 52 for the high, 60 tomorrow. Come Friday, storms and conditions starting again. 65 for the high. Windy cool on Saturday, but we drop to 50. 43 and windy right now. And you're looking.
The early game.
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach, 100.5 The Game in Florence.
$7:21 as we get you through your Wednesday morning, and a lot of you waiting. As parents, it's kind of a hot button issue. You got to be involved in some of these kids' shows. And several of y'all weighing in. Anonymous Texter. Danny Go. Check mark. That's big. Thumbs down. Another anonymous texter.
First time taking. Thank you.
Appreciate it. We
Yeah.
haven't got you off the bench on that one.
Hold on. We're not ready for that tip. We get there. I know. You get there. You're coming back. That's somebody waited. Talk sports. It's a bad enough memories. Brandon Anonymous, thank you for weighing in. The Backyardigans and Caillou had to order a stuffed Caillou for my child. 803-404-6100, how you can weigh in. Let's listen to last night, Lamont Paris. This is going to be something we'll discuss here because now South Carolina's got to turn the page. They've got to get away from this game. Got to get your momentum back. This is Lamont Paris last night after the game talking about turning the page to Missouri this coming weekend out in Columbia, Missouri.
Yeah, I haven't really watched any of them other than occasionally I'll see a game on TV at night. But this will be about the biggest thing will be like you said. What's our response look like, right? What does our response look like? If you come in here and you lose on a buzzer beater, I know what it's going to look like the next day.
Right.
But you come in here and you got your tail between your legs. What does practice look like the next time we get together in the gym? That'll be a real test for this group. We hadn't shown any of these signs all season, and had some games where we didn't play great. So really, I'll be focused on what all that stuff, and what the next thing for us looks like, and how we get back into playing good ball and shooting confidently. We shot a bunch of shots. Maybe I'll go back to shooting no shots. We shot a bunch of shots a couple practices ago. And it didn't bear itself out on the stat sheet today.
That's Lamont Paris last night talking about flipping the page now, and that's what South Carolina has to do: flush this game, flush last night's game, kind of get back on the same page. That was a lot of momentum lost last night. Now Missouri, on the flip side of things, Dennis Gates, prominently mentioned here in the coaching search 2 years ago.
That's what I remember the name.
They've lost 5 of 6. They are 8-7 on the season. They've opened 0-2 in conference play. They lost to Georgia at home last week, 75-68, and then lost last night. A pretty entertaining game, actually, at Rupp Arena. They lost 90-77 last night to Kentucky. Look, Missouri's, their losses are solid. They've lost to Memphis, no shame there. They've lost to Kansas, no shame there. They've lost to Seton Hall. Seton Hall is playing really well right now. They've lost to Illinois, who is ranked 13th. Georgia, again, might be better, we think, and they've lost to Kentucky. I mean, they've lost right now 3 of those games, Kansas, Illinois, and Kentucky. Those are teams at the time. I don't know what Illinois is right now, but we're 13th or better. They do have an ugly loss to Jackson State back in November, 73-72. But this is a team, their back is going to be against the wall. They don't want to go 0-3 to start conference play. This is a home game. It'll be 3:30. You can hear it right here on 107.5 The Game, and as well as 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. It'll also be on the SEC Network. Preston, the best we could come up with is when y'all were rolling along in 2001. Things were going really good. Momentum was high. I don't even know what I think they might have been talking Citrus.
Yeah, we was way up
at that time. And then you got thumped. It was at home by Florida, and you had to regroup. What is it now? How do you, as a college player, and you get beat like that, how do you flush it and move on?
Yeah, I think the best thing about basketball is that you get a chance to play pretty quickly, so you don't have to go week to see what went wrong. It's just a matter of getting back in the saddle. The only difference as we was fleshing that out, we were later in the season. I think we had a better idea of who we actually were, and our confidence in our team at that moment was pretty secure. And we kind of, I'm not saying we laughed it off, but we were like, ooh, what happened there? We were genuinely confident that we were a good team. I would question whether or not this team feels that they are confidently, that they're genuinely confident in themselves with the team. So what Hatch and Lamont does is kind of walk into practice and be like, hey, fellas, what happened? Let's diagnose this. Let's talk about what we think happened, what I saw go wrong, what did you see go wrong on the court. Then maybe you try and fix this. I'm not sure if this is the moment when you start to really press or really try and nail things down, or maybe even let's just try and fix it. Because like Lamont said, this is the first time we've seen these signs from the team. So maybe something was going on. And that's him. Maybe there was these other things going through their mind. As a coach, I think it's your job to try and figure that out and diagnose it, and you get a chance to play quickly after.
803-404-6100. weighs in with Miles Foodie. Has double figures. The Gamecocks win. He has to be involved early. There's got to be a conscientious effort there. Cooper and Wright need to push the tempo and penetrate. And Coco Melon for the kids show.
Up or down?
Just said Coco Melon. I'm tuning up.
As many ups as we've had for Bluey, I've heard that many times for Coco. But it's on a lot.
Shayla weighs in. Boys range 215. Absolutely 1,000% agree on Blippi. Thumbs down. Thumbs up. Backyard again. And fresh beef band.
Oh, I never heard that one.
Check into that.
I'm taking notes.
Getting impressed with all kinds of information. 803-404-6100. That's how you can weigh in if you want to do so. Whether it's, you got to give us thumbs up, thumbs down. The kids show. Got to learn some emojis. The kids involved maybe a little bit more. Not try to use the emojis. So thumbs up, thumbs down. Or you want to talk basketball. Last night, obviously, a rough night. 803-404-6100. Oh, yeah, Missouri is in Columbia, Missouri. It's an away game. It's an away game. 3:30 SEC Road. Missouri trying not to fall to 0-3. Gamecocks will look to stay above 500. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Phil Gunner, Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Download the 107.5 The Game app anywhere. The beach. The gym. Yes. In there. Go to iTunes or Google Play. Tag the 107.5 The Game app.
With over 100 online casino-style games, Chumba Casino is your go-to destination for nonstop entertainment. For free at
Yeah, we've discussed the audio. I don't know, but it sounds good on my computer. So I'm not sure if it just clicked back in or what's going on. But audio's. Let's go back.
It's even sweeter with special savings and incentives that you simply won't find anywhere else. I-26 at Harbison and at Love
Yeah, it
Chevy.
sounds good now, so I don't know. It might be the mics or something.
You know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? I'm Dr. Mark Bentley with Columbia Secret Weight Loss. I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy.
Oh, and my son does online gaming. Wow, I didn't realize we had so many.
With all your devices, your family needs at least 50 megabits per second.
50 megabits?
And that's a symmetrical connection, 50 up and 50 down.
And is it true FTC won't charge extra for the modem and Wi-Fi?
Yep.
And free installation?
Yep.
Great, sign me up.
FTC Internet offers powerful connectivity no matter what your family throws its way. Get the best internet experience in the area with plans starting at $39.95 per month for the first 6 months. Plans include a free Wi-Fi 6 smart router, premium Wi-Fi, and the FTC Wi-Fi app to manage your network. To learn more, call 888-218-5050 or visit ftcinet.com. Service may not be available in all areas. Certain restrictions apply. Offer for new internet customers only.
How wrestling really works and how you get the ratings. Eric Bischoff and Conrad Thompson explain on 83 Weeks.
So the test was born out of great storytelling. He lived up to the opportunity and he exceeded it. The LA Knight, he's way up on my list because he was a guy that's been around for almost ever. Should have probably quit half a dozen times. And he just forced his way into their life. And now he's been playing hand over fist. That is a story I love.
83 Weeks on YouTube or wherever you listen.
A gentle breeze blows across your face as you take a refreshing sip. Appreciating the stillness of another morning fishing on the lake. The distant gurgle of a stream reminds you of days spent playing in the creek, the cool, clear water rushing. You love this time of feeling now. Imagine it's all gone. No fish, no lake, no water. One of life's most vital resources, irreplaceably depleted. Time is running out to protect freshwater, and without our love, it can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our freshwater. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line 803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
WISTV First Alert Traffic is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
On road McNulty Street, Bush River Road, right there at Pine Boulevard. There is an accident. We got the highway here, Brooklyn Road. I-20 westbound to Sacker exit 1 and 1 north that cleaned up. In Lexington, Old Cherokee Road near St. Peter's Road. South Seymour Road at Vernon Street. Other exits have been cleared up. Great news here. And windy and cool today. High of 52, cloudy tomorrow, 60, storms and wind on Friday. But it's breezy right now, 43, doesn't quite feel like it. Feels a little cooler on the early game.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
On your home of the Gamecocks. Columbia 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Rolling along, 7:34 on a Wednesday morning as we get you up and moving and all those good things going along. Halfway through the week, you're almost there, and then we'll get most of you on us, we're going to get a little 3-day weekend. Program note, we will be out tomorrow, we'll be out Monday. We will be out Monday and taking off for Martin Luther King Day. And I'll actually be out on Tuesday for a little day off. We'll be back next week as we go with January. We'll get closer to spring. I haven't really talked a whole lot of golf yet. So that's me. We'll get into another tournament tomorrow, but interesting time of the year for PGA, for the PGA, losing John Rahm, with I think Liv making the push. Golf's obviously a big part of around here because of the courses. We'll be having our upcoming spring golf tournament. We'll have more information in the coming weeks about that, but it'll be back at Charwood on April the 5th. So our upcoming spring golf tournament, that'll be Final Four weekend. So you come out that morning and hang out with us, and we'll talk about the Final Four that coming weekend, April the 5th. We'll have a lot more information coming up on that. 803-404-6100. You got a couple topics you can weigh in on this morning if you want to talk South Carolina basketball. Last night, 74-47 loss. They fall 13-2 on the season, 1-1 in conference play. Again, according to ESPN last night, Chris and I were debating this, makes it historic. But according to ESPN last night, it was a historic night in college basketball because number 1 and number 2 lost to unranked teams. First time since 2016 that had happened. Purdue last night loses to Nebraska. Houston loses to Iowa State last night.
I don't think I heard the part when you said initially. I don't think I heard the unranked part. That does make it a little bit more.
Okay.
That does make it a little bit more significant.
Slightly more historic.
Yeah, a little bit. The history is still 8 years ago, so it did happen kind of recently for us. But unranked 1 and 2 losing to unranked teams, that is a little bit more significant.
6100 is how you can weigh in. The other topic we have been talking about this morning, your favorite kids, both your favorite, thumbs up, thumbs down. Gotta learn to use the emojis. Your favorite thumbs up, thumbs down, kids television shows. All of us with young kids, we've had to deal with this at some point. Didn't know it. We got an expert on the line. Yeah, we got an expert.
I'm listening.
Let's go out to our Love Chevy phone lines. Our expert, one of our favorite guests that normally joins us in studio, Tony Annan, making an appearance this morning. He hears a topic that he's an expert on, and he calls in instantly to weigh in. Coach, how you feeling this morning?
I'm not too bad. How you doing? It's been a while.
It's been a while. We look forward to getting you in studio here very soon. You actually get going with practice a week from yesterday.
Yep, Tuesday we start up again. So can't wait for that.
You've got young children, kids shows.
I do.
Kids shows. What are these we talked about? Bluey is coming back. Give us the rundown on kids shows.
Bluey's my favorite. Bluey is top of my list. The only one I can really get through and look at anyway. Bluey's number one for me.
So we got Bluey with a thumbs up. What's up, Coach? Good to hear from you. Yes, sir. So we got Bluey with a thumbs up. Now, here's the other thing. Thumbs down. Do you have a thumbs down for where it's like, I don't want to do this anymore?
Oh, so many. There was one called Caillou.
Yes.
That absolutely annoyed the hell out of me. I couldn't even think it.
Creators producers feel that they have made such an impression on the American population that we all feel like this is an awful show. You have done, and it went for like 6 or 7 years too. Like there is great pain in creating such an awful television show for 6 or 7 years. You go through that. Let's do a little Premier League update with you real quick. Your team in particular, Newcastle, suffered a lot of injuries. I'm pulling for them. I've kind of just because I know you, no other real reason. I've adopted them as my team. I didn't want to be a bandwagon fan with Arsenal or Liverpool, whoever John Whittle and Jay Phillips pull for. You got in.
If you're an Arsenal fan right now, it's not a good time either. I was talking to John just on Texas today, and he's struggling. Three on the bounce with us.
What's going on with Newcastle?
Arsenal's not great either.
Yeah, a lot of injuries.
Newcastle's ton of injuries since what to start with. Not making excuses, but the January window should be good for Newcastle. Get a few players in and jump in the squad and make a good run at it in spring. So I'm hopeful.
When you say
Scotland's doing all right, and they've had a lot of injuries too, but they're managing to keep it together.
It is on the table right now. 5 points clear of West Ham right now. They're holding it together. What's up?
So a good manager.
Right.
Real quick, compare for those that are learning. Compare the January window. Now it's different because of financial, trade. It's a professional window and not a transfer portal window. But compare a January window to kind of what you see almost in the transfer portal these days with being able to change your team almost mid-season.
Oh, don't mention the transfer portal.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, the two windows in soccer, right? There's January window and the August window. But January is not as busy as August, but it's been pretty busy so far. But basically, if you're in the rules of financial fair play, which is a really different conversation, if you can bring in new players, you can bring in 4 to 5 new signings in the January window to change your team if you've got money. And financial fair play rules are, a penalty because how much you spend, the wage bill, how much you've got in your books is all big algorithm. So you can bring in players in the January window just into the quarter here, and then get it open to August, and you can do it again in August. So the summer one is usually the busier one than the winter one, but the winter one's been pretty busy so far.
Let's look back Premier League this weekend. Give us, if somebody wants no college football, first true weekend without college football. I don't count the All-Star games. I might have to get back into that discussion with you. I don't count any All-Star games going on. Friday, you got Burnley and Luton. Your team, Newcastle, has Man City, 12:30 on Saturday. Give us the breakdown of the Newcastle-Man City match.
I think Newcastle will probably play in a low block, 4-5-1, and try and stay through the game. That's my prediction. I don't think they're going to go out and attack Man City completely. It's all apart. With Man City, even though they're not top of the table at the moment, they're still one of the best teams, if not the best team in the division. They've just had a real sort of rough patch, but they're still very, very dangerous. And they will. I think it'll be tough for Newcastle this weekend to get past Man City, to be honest. So I predict a very low block defensive game from Newcastle.
You want to? My son is listening on the way to school. Austin is listening, and he is just in all caps. Basically said that your Newcastle team does not have a chance. He says Man City on top, so he's taking a shot at you. Would you like the place to see if he loses, he has to come and run win sprints with the team? Does that seem fair?
Yeah, sure. I'm not allowed to bet on anything. So
no, you can't. But I just said if he loses,
to be fair,
since he's going to talk trash,
he's not far off. He's not far off.
Okay,
I'm going to lay back on that one.
I wasn't going to say if he wins, you have to do anything. I was just going to say if he's going to talk trash to you, if he's going to take time out in his car ride to ride to school, if Austin's going to take time out to harass you, if he loses, if he's going to make that comment, he has to come run wind sprints with the team. That only seems fair.
Yeah, that just seems fair. He's talk trash at such a young age.
Yeah.
Yeah, but have you not considered the fact of who his father is? So he's probably learned some bad habits. So
Very
maybe
true.
Bill should
That
run
was
the
going
wind
to
sprints.
trees, right?
Correct. And it is a
I'd
short
love to
tree.
see Bill run wind sprints.
Bill
Me
doesn't
too.
run anymore. If you see me running, it's because a dinosaur is chasing me. And we all know that dinosaurs are extinct. So therefore, something has gone completely wrong if you see me running anywhere. Quick breakdown here, about a minute. Quick breakdown. Man U and Preston's Tottenham team.
I think Tottenham do Man U, and I really hope they do. I'm going to upset Man U fans, but yeah, I think Tottenham squeeze past Man United. Man United are all over the place at the moment. I don't think they've got it together. They're up and down. So I would say Tottenham over Man U. No problem.
We actually want to ask you. So, do you have time? Do you have time for one more segment? We actually have some legitimate sports questions we'll get to with you here, and then we certainly want to get you back in studio very soon. Coach Tony Annan calling in this morning, joining us. We'll stick with him for one more segment. We'll ask him about bouncing back from a tough loss, kind of what Lamont Paris, how you handle it as a coach with your team. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Sheehan Jensen, Coach Tony Annan on the phone line as well. It's the early game.
Download the 107.5 The Game app and listen anywhere. The beach, the gym, and yes, even there. Go to iTunes or Google Play and snag the 107.5 The Game app.
Bill Gunner for Mid-State Roofing. That's right. The premier commercial roofing company in the country. You know what? One time Mid-State Roofing actually roofed the entire planet. All right, it was Planet Hollywood in Myrtle Beach, but you get the point. Mid-State Roofing is reliable, and they're ready to help you from high-rises to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial. Mid-State Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with protective guarantees that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. And it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's right. You can give their call center a phone call. If you've got an issue, Mid-State Roofing is ready to be there. And you call 803-356-1919. You'll speak with a person. That's right. You won't get a recording. You'll speak with a person. So call Mid-State Roofing today, 803-356-1919. If you've got a leak, let Mid-State take a peek.
This is Homer and Science with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by Fairfield by Marriott, official hotel partner of the NCAA. The grounds crew has shoveled our penalty lap track to accommodate the Colts and Jags, who both lose their playoff opportunity, while the Pats and Panthers finished with total duds. How about those Eagles? They were embarrassed by the Giants, and the Dolphins now must slip into a frozen Arrowhead. Good luck with that, even with Tyreek Hill. I'm Homer and Science.
Get the home field advantage every time with Fairfield by Marriott.
official hotel partner of the NCAA. Whether you're a student athlete working toward your championship dreams or your team's biggest fan, Fairfield by Marriott has everything you need to get ready for game day. From comfortable guest rooms to complimentary hot breakfast, Fairfield is part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels and official hotel partner of the NCAA. Visit fairfield.marriott.com to book your next game day stay.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now, and the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? I'm Dr. Mark Bentley with Columbia Secret for Weight Loss, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points of calories, no exercises, no prepackaged or boxed meals, no surgery, and no hypnosis, call my office now at 803-824-8210.
Columbia Secret for Weight Loss changed my life. I lost over 50 pounds. Not only did I lose fat, I significantly lowered my A1C and making better choices that are sustainable. Throughout this program, the guidance and accountability help create a pathway to a healthier, better me.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. It's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 803-824-4210. That's 803-824-4210. Or ColumbiaSecretForWeightLoss.com.
At the YMCA, finding your why starts by making an impact together, touching lives for the better. It can be the gift.
The early game.
With Phil Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
Your home, the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Okay, but I have to say, there's one part, as far as the animation is concerned, you're going to have to look up a 70s show called The Partridge Family. Their intro reminds me very much of the visual of how that show opened, where they have like eggs that crack open and then one walks over and one walks over. And
I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I got it.
So I was like, oh my gosh, are we plagiarizing?
Influencing,
exactly. No, I'm kidding. It's a cute. It looks like a cute show. The intro is cute, but I said, whoa, flashback to some reruns.
Coach, do you know what they're talking about? Do you know what they're talking about?
Oh, yeah. My family walks around the house with an Australian accent after we watch. Everyone starts shouting, bingo.
Okay, there's that.
I love it.
My favorite.
Tony Ann and Coach
But
Tony.
the humor in that show is quite adult, even though it's a kid's show.
Well, and Preston was telling me off air that even it gets to him a little bit sometimes. There's a little bit too much that he signed up for as a parent.
Yeah, Coach. That was one episode, and actually a couple episodes where you're watching with the kids and you kind of just sitting back and you feel the eyes watering a little bit. You're like, hold on a second, I didn't sign up for this, man. I'm not here.
Yeah. You also get your kids to think you should do everything like that. Not that. You play the game every 2 minutes. You got a game for the kids to play. My kids are like, why don't you play that? Why don't you do that? Why don't you play this like that?
Because you need clothing and shoes. And food.
Yeah, I'm not an Australian shepherd. That's why.
Do you see any of these kids have a phone? No.
No,
there-
exactly.
there's
Their
a-
imagination is unbelievable.
There is an episode about that. There is an episode
Oh,
about that.
okay. Well, that's a good.
Thumbs up, thumbs down before it comes off. Really coming back. I saw that last night and instantly thought of Preston. We're going to talk a little bit about that. It's sparked. It's sparked quite conversation. Sammy is just put in to be forgiven. God forsaken.
Yes.
And then goes with another on the Blues Clues, the older one, thumbs up.
Yep.
Caillou, emoji, crying, and thumbs down.
Man, Caillou's getting beat.
Right? It's let's ask you a legitimate sports coaching question. Obviously, last night not a good night for Vermont Paris and the basketball team. How does a coach handle it when you're having a good season? How do you handle it when you're having a good season? And then just things don't go your way in a game. It's easy because I saw it on message boards and Twitter last night. People say, "Well, you flush it and move on. You flush it and move on." How does a coach handle that? I know everybody's different, so I guess I'm asking how you handle it when a season's going well, but you have an awful game. Is it as simple as flush it and move on?
You've got to try and make it that way. I mean, you can't dwell. I mean, that's dwelling. You get behaviors and get back to practice and make things better. Especially when you've got to run like the guys have had on the inside. It's a great run. It can bring great push. And, one barrier, would you say, one hurdle, and you didn't get over it, and you've just got to dust yourself off and get back on it and get your team back believing in themselves. And you just can't dwell on things like the players will dwell themselves. They'll beat themselves up, and you've just got to be there to try and move them along. And you can't be the one to dwell, sort of down about the result. Got to kind of dance, stay right, let's move on.
Coach,
the longer you go on.
No, I was gonna say, Coach, how long does it take you to feel like you know who your team is? Because Vermont mentioned yesterday that he saw some things for the first time from the team last night that he hadn't seen all year. How long does it usually take you to feel like you got a good feel for who your team is?
It depends, really. It depends. We've got a pretty new squad. We've got a lot of new players, like we've done in the past couple of seasons. We've kind of turned the roster over quite a bit. It isn't ideal because you do see, against a really good team, who Alabama are a very good team. You do see the guys got a different side to them when the chips are down, when it's not going your way, when things aren't dropping. You do see a different side to a player. But you need to go through those highs and lows to discover who you've got and what kind of character you've got. It shouldn't take too long to realise those things and see those trends. But again, when it's a new team, you just don't realise until you really hit that wall. What you've got and who you've got and who you can rely on.
Coach, we always appreciate it. Definitely get you in the studio. I know you got a lot going on, but with practice getting going for you next Tuesday, maybe we can grab you one morning, have you swing by, talk both Premier League soccer and some coaching philosophy. And I'm sure, Coach, don't worry, we'll find another topic outside of last time, I think, or one of the few times it was Pop-Tart. By the way, you saw the Pop-Tart bowl. Pop-Tart, but we were ahead of our time with that discussion that you got angry at us for.
Yeah, I did think about you when I saw the Pop-Tart bowl. Some of all those kids in camp who brought me Pop-Tarts. So it did. We were ahead of the curve on that one.
We were ahead of the curve, man. Good luck today. I know you got some stuff going on. We will catch up with you hopefully next week. How's that?
Sounds good.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Take care. Coach Tony Annan making an appearance here. Get him back here soon as well. Hour 3 on the way through again.
Everybody thinks of Pop-Tarts and I think of food.
Preston here. Let me tell you about my friends at Absolute Glass, which is the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. So if your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. If it's a cracked windshield, that's no problem. They'll come out to your location and replace it for you. They will come to you and they'll give you a free quote for any job. That means whether you're at school, whether you're at work, wherever you are, Absolute Glass will come out to you and take care of the job. Usually for free, and they work directly with the insurance company to take away the headache. Now, if you're sitting at home, you're looking to increase the value of your spot, you can do that with new windows and mirrors, and Absolute Glass will come out and take care of that for you too. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. I say it all the time. If you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
1075 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Life matters. In 1962, John Glenn became the first American astronaut to orbit the Earth. Glenn desperately wanted to return to space and eventually to the moon. President Kennedy decided the young Marine pilot was too valuable a national treasure to take such a risk, so Glenn was grounded. He never gave up on his dreams, though, and thanks to the Space Shuttle program, John Glenn, by now a U.S. Senator from Ohio, went back into space at the age of 77. A lot of people have showed the same kind of persistence. Sarah Barton served as a nurse in the Spanish-American War at age 76. Ben Franklin invented bifocals when he was 75. And Maud Tull of California received her first driver's license at age 91. The Bible's full of stories about people who never gave up on their dreams, who gave it one more try. That's why it's called the Book of Hope. This is Stephen Chitty, pastor of Christian Life. Remember, life matters, and so do you.
It's the Players Club Countdown to Gamecock Baseball. 37 days to opening day. Step into the future of golf at the Players Club, Columbia's first and only exclusive indoor golf and country club. Visit playersclubsc.com to learn more. The Players Club, where golf meets elegance.
The Game on Demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pains, our team is here to get you better. 1075 The Game, 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach, 100.5 The Game in Florence.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
And on your morning commute for this Wednesday morning, we see a few things to let you know about, like South Kilbourne Road at Brennan Street, Old Cherokee Road near St. Peter's Road. Also, I-77 northbound before Killian Road, 22. I-26 eastbound before exit 101. Highway 262 and I-77 are accident there. And Bowling Road at McNulty Street, also report of an accident. And weather obviously has cleared out, but we are left with some windy conditions today, a little bit cooler than it was yesterday. 52 for the high, 34% on the low, clouds and 60 for tomorrow. On Friday, chance for some storms again and windy conditions, 65 for the high, and then the cool down again. Saturday, looking for high, 50 with conditions. 43 right now.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is defensive lineman Alex Hunley, and you're listening to Home of the Gamecocks 1075 The Game.
A Cumulus media station.
Early game.
So I'm curious as far as the game is concerned now, because we kind of got warmed up yesterday and asking a question of the coaches. Are you going to have that sideline pass so that you're really going to be the roving reporter during the game?
No. I'm maxed out. That's the year.
With Bill Gunter, Jen Jensen, Laura Gamecock, Preston Ford.
Because I had to kind of pay attention.
That was your fault. You didn't identify yourself.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 1075 The Game.
The theme of this show. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
$8 a.m. Big thank you to Tony Annan for just a drive by surprise. Hop in, little Premier League there, little coaching philosophy, and kids show.
It does it all. Perfect guess. We appreciate it all the time.
And I didn't even think about it until I brought it up. We were ahead of the pop part forefront with Coach Tony Annan.
It's hard to be a trailblazer. It's hard. First they ignore you, then they make fun of you, then they blame you.
One of us somebody should reach out to Pop Tarts and say, "Hey, you were ahead of this. We got a coaches camp coming up in June that needs to be sponsored by Pop Tarts. Just bring that magical toaster on over here, and at the very end of Tony Annan's camp, think about it. Think about how great that we talk about kid shows. You got your magical Pop Tart mascot running around all week, kicking a soccer ball, out there having a good time, hanging out with the kids. And at the end of the week, at the end of the camp, he hops in the toaster and comes out as I don't know if that would mess kids up or they would love it. I'm not sure which one it would do. Like, Mom, Dad, the Pop Tarts popping in the toaster. We need it today. Oh, no.
It wouldn't have affected young Preston. Young Preston would have
But it's just been right there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Let that stop.
It is time to reach out. We can get some of the coaches over there on that and see if we can get Tony Annan's South Carolina soccer camp sponsored by Pop Tarts coming up in June and July. 803-404-6100. Been talking a lot about South Carolina last night. This will be interesting. First time they faced adversity this year. The announcer, John Sunvold and Dave Neal last night, they made a point of it in the second half. I think it was about 42-29, somewhere in there. That was the first time South Carolina had trailed by double digits this season. And Preston, you go back to your redshirt freshman year, and you get off to that great start, coming off of 0-11. You come off of 0-11, and you get off that great start. New Mexico State, take them down. Georgia, take them down. There was a third. I can't remember who the third game was. It was a non-conference game. Y'all thumped somebody. Bowling Green, Wofford. I don't know if I remember. And then you play Mississippi State. You rally and you win. Kind of similar to basketball games. So you rally and you win. Then you go to Alabama, and really that was a game. Phil Petty was hurt. Was it Kimry? I think it was Kimry got the start. Yeah, Kimry got the start in that game. Petty came in. Things didn't really go the way y'all wanted. First time y'all had faced adversity that year. What do you remember about it being in, like, what it was like in the locker room after the game and practices that week?
There's a really good story that I cannot tell on the air about that one, for sure. I'll tell you off there. But I think that's a very good, because that team at that particular time was still trying to figure out if we were any good. I mean, there's bravado and there's bluster, that you think, we're 4-1 or whatever the record is, but I'm not sure if you really know if you're good yet. And then that was when the coaches had to sort of instill in us that, no, we're a good team. We can play with the big boys. We deserve to be here. And we're going to go out and take care of business for the rest of the year. So that's the way that coaching staff approached it. And as I said, the next year when we got thumped by Florida, it was more just like a bump in the road, because I think we actually had genuine confidence in the team. Now, this team, I'm not sure where they stand, because it's easy to get inflated while you're winning. And they've won a couple of close games like Lamont said, when the team played well. But now they have to respond after getting thumped. And so we'll see what they look, and especially I think against Mizzou, who I don't equal.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
About an equivalent. So
they going on the road. If they were here, if they were in this Columbia, I'd kind of label it a must win, just because I think it gets your momentum back and you feel good about yourself. You just try to recover.
Yeah.
If you're going on the road, to me, is always a little bit different, because Missouri's a tough place to play. Number one, it's the trip. Two, they have a good home court advantage. They are a good athletic team. I mentioned it. Now, they have lost 5 of their last 6, but again, they've lost to legitimate basketball teams.
So this is a good game. This is a good measuring stick, because both teams have something that they need to prove in this game, right? Missouri's trying to get over the losing streak. We are trying to overcome getting beat by that large of an amount. So both teams should have a significant stakes into going out and playing the best games possible.
And my opinion, and it's only with 1 week of informed information, one true week. I know you can obviously look at the non-conference schedule, but the way I see the SEC shaping up at this moment is you've got the elite. Auburn, Kentucky. I throw Alabama in there. I like Alabama. They would be the 4th team in that, and Tennessee. Those are your 4 teams that I look at like, all right, that is your upper echelon of the conference. Right now, to me, the bottom tier of the conference is a singular team. Vanderbilt stinks. I don't know what they're about to do with Jerry Stackhouse.
Probably not gonna, that's probably gonna,
it's not. Vanderbilt's 5-10. They lost I think it was last night. They lost as well. Vanderbilt is a very bad team. They're the bottom tier right now of the league. They lost to LSU last night. After that, the way I'm watching these teams play, Preston, I think you've got a whole middle section of games that, depending on home and away and how quick the turnaround is and everything, they're all kind of toss-ups. Like I'm not buying. LSU win on the road and smacked around Texas A&M last week. That kind of caught my attention a little bit. Florida's okay. Florida's not bad. Florida plays tonight against Mississippi. Mississippi was 13-0, but then got just drug, very similar to what happened to South Carolina. Mississippi got beat by Tennessee on Saturday, 90-64, and they were 13-0. Chris Beard's first year there. I think Mississippi State is who they are. We saw them. Georgia, I'll put them in the same. I mean, honestly, if you go Georgia, if you go South Carolina, you go Mississippi State, Florida, Arkansas got beat at home by 32 by Auburn. I think the league right there, that middle section is pretty equal. This South Carolina team, I'm not going to write them off just because they had one bad game. They didn't shoot the ball. There are some flaws in this team, but as I could go through a lot of those teams, there are flaws in a lot of those teams. So that game on Saturday at 3:30, it is a big one because I think you're trying to keep the momentum up to do what we talked about funny enough yesterday. Is this a team that we get to talk about NCAA tournament potential, let's just say in early February?
Bill, did you just talk me into saying that this game on Saturday is the biggest game of Lamont Paris's career? Did you just try and talk me into that?
Well, to date,
yeah.
but next week could
Did you
be,
just try and talk me into that?
I feel like I might have gotten you there today. I would have said, here's the thing right now with this team and with what has happened, only because of the opportunity to rebuild so quickly. I would have said last week was the most important game to date because I was like, oh, you win that, you get off to a great start in SEC, you go 1-0, you win a game against a pretty good team. Wow, that's really cool. That's great. And they did. And that's why on Twitter I labeled it probably like the Kentucky game last year. You knew South Carolina wasn't good.
Right.
You knew they were. It was a great win to go to Rump and to play the game. It was a great win, but that's why I didn't say like, man, that's the best win of his South Carolina team. Saturday meant something because you, in some ways, validated that 12-1 start. Hey, we're pretty good. We can play in the SEC. I don't think anybody thought that last year. Last night, now people go, oh, okay, what do you? So yes, there is a level of if you wanted to go that path, I'll accept that.
Ooh, okay.
I'll accept that, but I'll put it with the caveat of likely a game next week.
Yeah, I mean the next bigger one's coming, and that's how the season works. When you win one,
right,
the next one gets bigger and bigger. But for all of the purposes that you said, because we hadn't seen that type of behavior from the team, as Lamont noted, because we haven't seen them respond to adversity, because they're playing a team who is about the equivalent of who they are, it's going to be really interesting to see how they come out and respond emotionally to this game, how they respond emotionally, and then also tactically. Are they going to actually get some of the things fixed? And again, I always make this caveat when I'm talking about basketball. I am not a basketball expert, but what I did see what I didn't see in this game that I saw in previous games, this game I saw a lot more standing around, kind of hoping to get the ball, a lot of, like clapping for the ball instead of moving and trying to make things happen. And so I wonder if they get those things tactically corrected.
Alabama's good. Alabama's athletic. Alabama's going to have nights where they talked about it last night, where they just fall apart. That's happened. That's happened to Alabama a few times, and we'll see if it continues. But I tried to tell people that Alabama wasn't ranked, but if you looked at their strength of schedule, their losses were to Ohio State, who's pretty good. The Clemson loss in Tuscaloosa is a little baffling. It really, not that Clemson's a bad team, just that they didn't show up. But then Alabama had lost to number 4 Purdue, number 2 Creighton, number 4 Arizona. I mean, that team, that they've played a non-conference. They've played good teams. They're, to me, in the upper tier. They struggled against Vanderbilt on the road on Saturday, 78-75. We just talked about Vanderbilt's not particularly good, but how South Carolina bounces back. I'll buy it. I'll take your Missouri thing, but I'll turn around and say that if they lose the Georgia game, then becomes the most important. And the reason being is with a trip to Arkansas next Saturday, a trip home against Kentucky after that, like saying every game is. But the reason we're saying that is because South Carolina's in contention now,
right?
And
Because there's stakes. There's something here. There's something to play for. There's something there, which is a good spot for them to be in.
And we're also now legitimately learning how Lamont Paris handles a team. We didn't learn a whole lot about Lamont Paris last year in 11 and 21. We learned G.G. Jackson could score. That was I don't know what else we learned in season 1. But right now, okay, you heard him. You heard him last night. We've played those audio clips. As a matter of fact, Jen, let's try and play one more time here. Lamont Paris talking about let's play number 3. Let's play the lack of aggression last night, because he talks a little bit about some things here that he was not pleased with. Here's number 3, lack of aggression from South Carolina last night.
They were. No, there were a couple plays. I told the guys, you're down. We were down, whatever it was, maybe right around 10 or something like that. And I looked down there, and it seemed like they subbed 2 extra guys in. It was 7 versus 5 when the shot went up on the glass. They were all over it, and we weren't. I don't understand that. I don't understand under any circumstance. That tells you that the mind is creeping in. And it could be a lot of different things. It could be maybe somebody's not getting the numbers that they are averaging. Maybe somebody's not playing as much as they would like to. Maybe it's the atmosphere and what this game means to somebody. And if we win this, we're going to be ranked. And if we do, maybe, I don't know what it is. But it isn't just a garden variety bad day at the office that ran rampant through the entire team. Right. I have a hard time believing that.
Just really interesting. He says that was last night was not a garden variety. It tells you that team had gotten kind of full of itself.
Something happened, which happens throughout the seasons are long, and there's ups and downs and all kinds of stuff is happening. But I would differ from you a little bit. I think what we learned from Lamont last year was that he's willing to be forthright. He's willing to honestly assess his team. So when you hear these statements, it shouldn't come as a surprise if you followed along with what he said about the team. Last year. Like I said, things happen throughout the year. They'll figure it out during practice. They'll get it together. I expect them to come out and at least compete on Saturday.
Steve weighs in on our Firehouse of Texas and says, remember, it was a bad half, not a game. Jeff weighs in for Columbia in July. Camp. Pop Curtis Cook right there at the field. Anonymous Texas says, second time Texas. When Texas the first time, 727 QSU. Second time Texas. Thumbs up, Backyardigans. Thumbs up, Wow Wow Wubsy. Thumbs up, Little Einstein. Thumbs up, Wonder Pets. Thumbs up, Daniel Tiger. Worst ever. Thumbs down, Caillou. I've never hated a fictional child.
Caillou's getting a beating. I need to see who Caillou is because they are unanimously disapproved.
We'll get into that more. I'm going to ask y'all about some older ones that popped into my mind as we were talking to Terry Ford as well. You're listening to Preston Thorne. I'm Bill Gunner, Sheets Jensen. This year we can.
Ever been on this date?
Good looking man.
Thank you.
Very pretty. Real soft, delicate features. They're real feminine.
And thought, man, I'd rather be listening to the game right now.
Welcome in to the afternoon show alongside Elijah Campbell. I'm Jay Phillips.
Well, just go to iTunes or Google Play. Download the game app. Sure, you may no longer be with that person anymore, but you'll never be without the game again.
Bill Gunner for AAA Heating and Air. That's right. Your year-round ally against the changing weather. And you know what? AAA Heating
back in February of 2022, and they put in a brand new heating and air unit. That's right. And the expert team there that showed up, man, they were fantastic. Whether it was the cleanup, whether it was an explanation of how this new heating and air unit would work to not only keep the house nice and cool during the summer or nice and warm during the winter, but also how much money it would save. AAA Heating and Air was fantastic. And I tell you what, right now, AAA Heating and Air is offering an incredible deal you can take care of right now. Financing with 12 months, no payments or no interest. You won't pay a penny until 2025. So call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you. I'll just leave this audio on for the rest of the show, and if a caller calls in, that way y'all can hear us. You just won't hear the station. So, but I'll go to this here now. We'll go back.
With nationwide coverage, don't just buy a used car. Buy a certified used car.
I don't know. I will donate. Some days we've had that. I don't know. Some days we've just had that, and where the audio is messed up. I don't. Very, very rarely does it happen. I mean, I've plugged it.
House in Lexington is a warm and welcoming celebration of community, food, music, and fun.
But the thing is, the way it's kind of going in and out makes me think it's Wi-Fi.
Match alongside the best of regional American comfort foods and a wide selection of beer, wine, and liquor served in a warm, traditional Irish pub atmosphere. With
Although my computer, hey, my computer's got all bars on the Wi-Fi.
At O'Hara's Public House awaits. Be sure to go right next door to O'Hara's.
By Saturday, right now, Breezy 43 on the early game.
Early game with Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shin Jensen. Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5. The game also heard on 100.3.
NFL stuff here.
And 100.5. The game in Florence.
Ah, the fickle nature of the NFL. It doesn't take much. And Mike Vrabel, in particular, finding that out yesterday, back-to-back losing seasons, and now he's gone. He is gone as the Tennessee Titans fire him. And this was kind of interesting. Personally, I don't understand the exact connections here, but it's my understanding Taylor, former offensive tackle, former Michigan offensive tackle, it should be noted.
Not just former Michigan offensive tackle, but the offensive tackle who was the recipient of the hit.
Got blown up. Yeah, they forgot to get in the way of Jadeveon Clowney.
Which, by the way, in Taylor's defense, if you go back and watch the rest of that
Call
game,
for number 11.
if you go back and watch the rest of the game, he kind of locked JD up for the rest of that
He's
game.
good. I mean, he is a guy who has done a lot of things. Well, he does a pod. If you haven't seen it, he does a podcast with
Famous podcast, a really popular one with Will Compton. He's one of the Bussin' with the Boys. They've been down to the practice facility here in South Carolina. They did some stuff at Bojangles. They've been around, and I believe this particular clip, he wasn't doing his podcast. He was on Rich Eisen's show of the NFL Network, and this is where he was sort of, I guess, learning like the rest of us civilians.
And to put this in context, he played for Mike Vrabel, and he retired last year. This is his first year retired. He sustained a season-ending injury in 2022. The Titans released him. I assume I don't know if he's officially done the paperwork that you have to do.
Yeah, I don't think he's turning the paperwork, but if you see him physically,
yeah,
he's not going back to play offensive line. He's done a great job of losing the weight. And I think it was one of those deals where Taylor was like, talking about football is a lot less painful than playing football.
Yeah,
so I'm going to move into this next phase of my career.
So he had a torn ACL, but this is him yesterday learning about the firing of his buddy Mike Vrabel from the Tennessee Titans. That's obviously Rich Eisen as well, and and Taylor Lewan reacting yesterday to the firing of Mike Vrabel, and you hear a bunch of sides of that. You hear a player in Lewan basically standing up for his friend. Now at this point, not his coach, but his friend. Maybe you want to call him a mentor. Vrabel, by the way, 48 years of age, will be 49 in August. Your take on that?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. One, what I did here was obviously Taylor has a lot of respect for Mike Vrabel and the job that he's done, but also it goes to show you that even people who we think know what's going on, this guy Taylor Lewan, probably going to be a Ring of Honor member for the Titans, very outspoken about the organization. Even he's finding out like, what just happened? So a lot of times these things are happening and nobody knows what's happening, how it's going, and also you just hear the fickle nature of the NFL because, 2 years ago, Mike Vrabel, I think it was 3 years ago, they were playing for a conference championship, and they were on their way.
That was 2019. They played in the AFC championship game and lost to Kansas City, lost to that Mahomes dude.
Yeah, some young upstart team, right?
2020 they got to they were in the wild card game. They were 11-5 and lost to the Ravens. And then in 2021, 12-5 and lost in the divisional game to the Bengals. Back-to-back losing seasons. And this is what we talk about, the fickle nature of the NFL. 7-10 and 6-11. His overall record is 54-45. But the Titans see reason to push him out. And this is where one of those things, I don't know. I don't know if he's a good coach. If he's not, I feel like what he's going to do, though, is instantly get another opportunity somewhere.
Yeah, if he wants to work, he will work somewhere. I don't know where that's going to be. Obviously, there's a very strong connection to the Patriots, who they still have some guy they're coaching now. So I don't know if they're going to move on from that situation. But if they were to move on, let's just say this. If Bob Kraft was not planning to, maybe having somebody who has strong ties to the program, somebody who he knows, somebody who he trusts, somebody with proven NFL experience, I couldn't think of a better person to take the Patriots job if they decided to move on from that.
It's a good point on that. And kind of on the flip side, I don't know why, but I can see a scenario where Tennessee's like, yeah, we'll grab that Belichick guy.
Just trade, just swap.
It would be very interesting. There were rumors. This is crazy. There were rumors that Vrabel might have had trade value to other teams with a head coaching vacancy. I don't know how that exactly works.
Yeah, that's in the NFL. The coaches are still part of the collective bargain and agreement, which is another way that we can talk about this college football thing. As far as player movement, coaches cannot just move around in the NFL either. They have to be, if you're under contract, you either have to have conversations with the other team, or you can trade their rights away.
Well, but a coach does have say in it. You can't just it's not like a player, as you said. There has to be conversations. A coach, you can't just trade a coach to say, the Arizona Cardinals be like, man, good luck, buddy. Like,
yeah, that was part of the whole conversation with Sean Payton, why he was retiring, sitting out here, running out his contract so that he didn't get traded. All these sort of things that are happening. But the best part was the owner of the Titans was like, yeah, we could have traded him, but we kind of didn't want to because it was going to be a little complicated, and we basically didn't want to take that long to make a choice. It's like, what? Yeah. What is your job as an organization? So I don't know. I think Vrabel's highly respected in the NFL amongst players, and there's no doubt that he's going to get another opportunity if he wants it. I don't know what he wants to do, but he'll find another opportunity for sure. And good luck to whoever's going to take over the Nashville Titans. We're going to be, because Derrick Henry's moving out also. Essentially, we're assuming that Derrick Henry's finished there. And we're going to bank our rebuilding efforts on the arm of Will Levis. So
Henry, a free agent starting in March. That's kind of why you say that. We'll see where he goes. Tennessee.
Franchise quarterback Will Levis.
They are a franchise that I always had, I kind of believe, did things the right way. Not that I think this is the wrong way. It's just, it'd be interesting. Maybe they do upgrade. Maybe they do. 803-404-6100. We'll get back out to the Love Chevy phone lines when we come back. We'll talk a little more NFL as well. There is a college coach that at least rumors are circulating he might go somewhere. And there are rumors that the rumors are being started by another college coach. I'll throw that one at you as well. You're listening to the early game. New year means getting the house looking clean for the new year. You don't want people coming over in 2024 looking down at your carpet and thinking, man, that's kind of dirty and dingy. What does this family do here? You need to contact Zerorez with their patented ZR water technology that does not leave behind any soap, any residue, and of course, no harsh chemicals. So the kids, the pets, even you, when your team loses, can roll around on the carpet in agony. Call Zerorez today. 803-262-4020, and you can get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $119. And when you mention me, Bill Gunner At 107.5 The Game, you'll get a hallway cleaned for free. So don't let the house stay dirty. Call Zero Res today, 803-262-4020, or you can schedule with ease online. ZeroResColumbia.com is the way to do that. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards, it's the right way to clean. Yep. Am I not paying attention? Their little script they sent me says Zero Res Cincy, as in Cincinnati. And I about Zero Res Cincinnati. I was like, I saw Cincy and I was like, oh, thank goodness I've done this for 3 years, and I. Not Cincinnati. Okay. Oh, I bet I didn't get that going already. As a result of their dedication,
seconds. One, a three-quarter court shot is short, and Carolina wins it. You can put Spurs on a 79-77 win over Virginia Tech.
Obviously, you play to win, you play to compete. At the same time, you come in like realistically like, okay, this is a journey, like this is a marathon, not a sprint. And we know that, you know, once we got the ball rolling, like things would be like a snowball effect.
Coming back to South Carolina, I really started to fall in love with the game again, you know, and have fun with the game again, just being myself and being here at Columbia.
The Gamecocks get to 5-0.
You know, I don't think I can like have a full answer for that yet because this is just year 2, but I think we are building a culture for, you know, the people after us. We're always going to be counted out, you know, but we tend to not listen to like the outside noise and just work on what we have going on as an inner circle. And we work hard, we trust each other, and we play for each other.
Ambition sometimes takes like a toxic form. It can lead people to be, you know, become very self-interested, and I don't feel like we have that at all.
So when the power goes out for that fraction of a second before the generator kicks in, they work well on these aircraft. And then our doorbell rang.
Breathe easier in your home in 2024 with Zera's air duct
I was
tape.
freaking out at one point. So, lately, I can power like out for people.
Did y'all get any like lightning, thunder?
You talking about yesterday or last night? Last night I thought it was fine. So I was shocked. Matter of fact, the only reason I even thought the power might be out when I got up, all my Alexa lights were on, like Austin's room, and he stayed there last night. However, she says that I was watching the light at one point. That's about what I often came out there. I couldn't have seen from here to the end of the building. Like I couldn't see across my phone. And the wind kicked up, and I kind of, like, also was already nervous, but everything was blowing behind me. Normally, like, it was blowing from my left. I can look out to the dam, look out to Columbia, and I can see everything. So if there was a funnel or anything, but if it's coming from my right, the way my wall is and the way some of the condos kind of jut out, I can't it was pouring. I wasn't going to look, and so if it's coming from what I say behind me, like we would have heard it hitting the far end of the condos, but all of a sudden it like went crazy. And I legitimately thought, well, my tornado might not have been here, but I would say within the general vicinity of where I was at.
It wasn't much of anything but rain. But then when I drove, there was like a tree.
Yeah. Well, that's one of those things where, like, like they say, like they say, the wind, or that it gets so wet. I'm gonna take this, and then when he hangs up, I'll do this. 8:36 as we get you going here on your Wednesday morning. I hope everybody's safe. We were just talking off air about the storms yesterday, and for Jen and I guess in the Lexington area, it was rough, but I wouldn't say it was overly bad. I thought during the day, I was looking out across the lake, I could see a couple times where it really escalated, but nothing like I saw last night. A tornado appeared to have touched down in Bamberg. I hope everybody is safe down there.
Yeah.
It does say that I'm looking at the WIS weather, WIS weather, and it is saying that it looks like that potentially we could have another round of strong storms tomorrow. So just oh, I'm sorry, today's not Thursday. Yes, Friday. I'm sorry. Thank you. Good Lord. Last week I was all confused because of having Monday off. This week I feel like the week is flying by. Yeah, it is Wednesday, so we're getting you up and going, but we'll keep you updated. We'll do our best to keep you updated throughout.
Yeah, and just a note on that. I know a lot of times, especially from older generations, like why they cancel? The thing is, it's obviously a liability issue, and what you don't want is you don't want people traveling, especially on buses, which the buses have the height clearances. So wind affects the buses a little bit different than it would a normal car. And so when you hear someone say like, "Well, why did they cancel school?" It's for the transportation issue. So like I said, I know. Yeah, exactly, 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 exactly.
If you didn't do it, you couldn't tell your kids today the story of how you walked uphill both ways in the snow with just one shoe because you had left your other one at the house. So
Yeah, teachers definitely don't want that.
No.
No extra time.
no, it's not a person.
I
who
love
wants
you,
that.
but go home, please.
Yes. Go ahead. You'll be fine. You're good. 803-404-6100. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Ray wants to weigh in this morning. Ray, how you doing?
On Jim Harbaugh. I know a lot of people have, but is there a hotter coach in America right now? I mean, think about everything they went through this year with whatever, the spying stuff, stealing signs and stuff, and, the suspensions and all that. I'm still convinced when Harbaugh was suspended, he's watching those games. He's probably sitting in his pajamas, his hat on, those big glasses, popcorn, just taking it all in and loving it. And I mean, look at this guy. They win the national title. And I'm convinced that his people or whoever they are, they could call these NFL franchises who need a coach, and I guarantee you they'd take Harbaugh in a second. Not only that, I think there are teams out there that have a coach. If they could take Harbaugh, they would seriously think about it. But it's just, man, it's just wild. But Harbaugh, what a character! And if he leaves Michigan right now, and which I think he may do it, and I don't think he does it because he's being run off, because I don't think nobody could really run Harbaugh off. I think he's doing it because the myth, the legend would just grow, would just intensify. But man, what an interesting character he is. But that's what I got to say.
Appreciate it for the phone call, Ray. Hey, look, that's another guy we talk about, Vrabel. I don't know. I haven't looked as we get going. I haven't looked to see who is considered the hottest candidate, the must-have candidate for the NFL. I mentioned this, Kirby Smart. Keep an eye on that. Let me tell you about that here in just a second. But real quick, let me tell you about Mid-State Roofing. That's right. For nearly 30 years, they have continued to be the proven leader in the commercial roofing and waterproofing industry. Mid-State Roofing's proven history is your assurance that their professionals at Mid-State Roofing will make sure you get the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to you. I tell you what, Mid-State Roofing, they promise to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. You can call today and learn more by speaking with Blake Leitner, 803-356-1919. You can visit them online as well at midstateroofing.com. Whether you're in Florence, whether you're in Myrtle Beach, whether you're listening somewhere this morning on our 107.5 The Game app, Midstate Roofing will take care of you wherever you are at. So give Blake a phone call this morning and talk about that maintenance contract. 803-356-1919. That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You'll speak with a technician, even if it's after hours, or you'll speak with a Midstate Roofing member. So don't forget, when you're in need of someone to take care of your roof, call Midstate Roofing today, 803-356-1919. If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek. You like Lane Kiffin?
In very much a Jim Harbaugh-ish way. Like, I appreciate them.
Would it shock you that there are rumors out there, and really nothing substantiated, that Kirby Smart could be in the mix for the Atlanta Falcons job?
Okay.
Would it shock you to learn that some people believe those rumors are being circulated by the one and only Lane Kiffin?
That would not shock me. Neither one would shock me. The idea that Kirby is in the running for that job, and or that Lane Kiffin started the rumor that
it's
Kirby
not Adam
Smart.
Schefter saying in industry sources. There are people going that it's Lane Kiffin leaking out there just to mess with Kirby Smart. This is just
That's
Lane.
what you like, because Lane. It's like when you send him a text like, "Stop it, Lane. Come on, man. What you doing?" And Lane's just sending Joker emojis at him, just agent of chaos type of things towards his phone. Like, look what I'm about to start.
Yeah, just Lane Kiffin sitting out there going, "Oh, come on, man." Yeah. This is from the USA Today Touchdown Wire. Lane Kiffin suggesting Falcons hire. See, now he's suggesting the Falcons hire. But again, there are rumors that it's Lane Kiffin pushing this, because here, I'll let you read this. This is the Twitter account, if it'll come up there, of the one and only Lane Kiffin. Current sportsbook odds for the next Falcons coach: Belichick plus 300, Ben Johnson plus 300. Ben Johnson, a hot name.
Seems to be a hot name.
Jim Harbaugh plus 325, Raheem Morris. You see this? There's no mention of Kirby Smart. But then you go back and there's Lane Kiffin tagging Kirby Smart, saying, "At Kirby Smart is my pick."
Lane being Lane. As we said earlier in the week, I believe that was Monday. Who's the best at social media? I think it might be Lane. He's just doing his thing, man.
So you got a coach here, a college coach, and yeah, this is Lane Kiffin. I don't think has any knowledge, but he's just like, yeah,
he's totally joking. And before Kirby Smart's head hits the pillow, or when he's thinking about coaching ball, he absolutely is considering the idea of being an NFL coach.
You think so?
Them, every single one of them are. That level of competitiveness, the idea of being able to do it on the biggest stage, is something that every coach dreams of. And if the opportunity presented itself, I don't know if it's now, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
803-404-6100. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the program. Some children's television shows.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Final thoughts on basketball.
I think we got to get the theme one more time just to do it.
We'll do that. You're listening to the early game.
Gotta take.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
803-404-6100.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Bill Gunner for Acton Law Firm. That's right. I tell you what, after a couple years of suspending the levy notices, the IRS is planning to continue sending out their dreaded notices of intent to levy in 2024. If you're one of those people that receives one, there's no need for you to stress. You just need to contact local attorney John Ecton and his team. The Ecton Law Firm, well, they understand the challenges that you face, and they're ready to help you. They want to give you the peace of mind you deserve. So with proven solutions, they have helped thousands of families and businesses just like yours escape the IRS. Let them do it this time. Give them a phone call and schedule a free consultation. You heard that correctly, a free consultation. 803-771-9800, or you can visit the EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Phone number again, 803-771-9800. Let the Ecton Law Firm help you out.
Do you know the Actons? Do you know them? Him? Them?
Eight zero 404-6100 if you want to weigh in the final segment this morning. Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. Big thank you. Tony Annan made a surprise appearance this morning, and we cut up with him a little bit. We'll try and get some of that audio up.
It's on the podcast page already.
Already on there. Jen well ahead of the game as she usually is. We've talked a lot about South Carolina and Alabama this morning. Obviously, last night not going well for Gamecocks, 74-47. Down a point at halftime, and then outscored 44-18 in the second half. And we, Preston, much like football, we move past it. We flush it. The only thing left to say is, all right, how do you rebound against Missouri? That's why I made those points.
Talk me into a case.
It might be. We might do that a little bit on Friday. It's fair. It won't be. It'll be up until that point, and it's very possible that Georgia next Tuesday at 9 o'clock.
That's the fun of this whole thing.
Yeah, very, very likely. But it might be very fair to say up until this point, most important game for Lamont Paris, because it will, I think, tell us a lot about how his team, this particular team, handle adversity. One loss is not going to cost you your discussion point for the NCAA tournament. 2, hurts a little bit. 3, don't get on that snowball effect downhill. So we'll talk more about that, though, as the week goes on. Not so much the Alabama game, but where this team is at. Coming up tomorrow, we have 2 guests. One in particular person I'm really excited about, but 2 really good guests. Tomorrow, 8 a.m., North Carolina head football coach Tim Beck will join us tomorrow. We'll get into a little bit of discussion with him on his team, but also he's a fun guy.
Yes. We have to come and say things that we've said on the air to his face, and we're gonna have to hash it out. We're gonna give him an opportunity to show us how much the team
is. Being a head coach in any sport, it goes with a requirement knowing how to shag, so that you can go down to the Cherry Grove area somewhere and you can hang out with the stragglers on the sand. The SOS crowd. Like Cliff Ellis was good at it. Cliff Ellis was. I've heard stories. Cliff Ellis could go down there to that area in Cherry Grove, and he could cut a rug with those SOS, the stragglers on the sand. Is what I believe. I've always heard them called. So we will get into that coming up on Friday. Guy that you really are excited to talk about, and I didn't know some of the background to him, but Joe Moglia.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
We'll talk business. We'll talk a trend from sweeping college football general managers. And we'll talk a little bit about that and how Joe Moglia sees that. We'll talk a little business as well and his book. He will come up at 8:30 on Friday morning. So that's coming up here with us as well. And then next week, I believe it's next week. Am I right on this, Jen? Or maybe it's July 31st. I don't have my schedule right in front of me. Darlington Raceway's now new president, Josh Harris, will join us coming up. I think it's the 31st.
Yeah,
31st. I'm thinking the 15th. The 15th will be February 15th will be when we start our quarterly Pool Solutions Checkered Flag Challenge. We have to band together in this to keep Reggie Anderson from winning 3 in a row. Band together.
3 in a row is dynastic. 3 in a row is a dynasty. So if he gets the 3 in a row, that's 3-peat. That's Jordan S. That's there's gonna be rarefied air for us to. It'll be hard to bring him down after that.
We have to make sure that does not happen. We've got a great show this morning. We appreciate all of you weighing in. Many of you with some very good thumbs up, thumbs down videos, kids, movies. Preston and a lot of you. I actually have not seen a thumbs down for Bluey.
Doctor will get one, man. New season coming up. Season 3, I believe. A lot of episodes. We'll be looking forward to all the adventures of Bluey, Dingo, and the whole family. We're looking forward to it.
And we've had people weigh in this morning. That little ditty, a little tune. It's
fantastic. Fantastic tune. Dancing, you get into dance mode, and we didn't even talk about dance mode, A lot that we can get into. Looking forward to this.
Yeah, Louis, taking us out this morning. Final one. I'm anonymous texter. Oh boy, children of 30 and 25 going way back. Blues Clues, thumbs up. Good Lord, cow and chicken, thumbs up. Now I have grandkids. Any children's program not on regular cable must be banned.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio.
Discover Herndon certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by and shop online today.
No drum, motors, shoes. It doesn't matter what kind of car you.
Hopefully Hope is right, and it was the storm that messed up that the audio. So hopefully we'll get it right tomorrow, and y'all have a great rest of the day. Take care.